You're live.
And I do believe we are on and live. Hello, everybody out there twitching. Thanks very much for tuning in to Blades Against Bandwidth. I'm Judge Brendan. I'm back here once again with my merry band of miscreants, and we got a couple of new people with us this week. First of all, we want to introduce our new cast member, the Reverend Dak Ultimak.
Oh, hi. I'm Reverend Dak.
And who are you playing tonight, Dak?
I am going to be playing Ernie Wise, the Wild. He's a former confidence artist with a personality of 7.
That's why he had to quit doing it.
He didn't quite have the confidence.
You know what I mean, right? Just to pull that off, you know what I'm saying? And we also have a special guest this week, from a longtime friend to Goodman Games and one of my personal heroes, Wayne Snyder. Wayne, tell him who you are.
Hi, everybody. I'm Wayne Snyder. I'm also playing Brank Iron Fist, who you may have seen in previous games, played by somebody else.
By a lot of somebody else's, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
good, yeah.
Brank has seen some action and has never failed to please. So we're really
happy.
If
you don't know, I want to butt in. If you don't know, Wayne is also the creator of the Gong of Doom.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. You know
Wayne
what I'm saying?
Snyder is Wayne Gong of Doom Snyder, and he's
Yes.
Wayne Meat Planet Snyder,
Meat
and he's
Planet.
Wayne Con Snyder.
Yes, it's that way. That's who we got.
The
on.
most important thing about Brank is that he has a dwarven axe that is named Ultimak,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
Dak
Oh,
might
yes.
find interesting.
I was wondering how to bring that up organically. I'm glad I didn't
sorry.
have to. No, but
I'm just
this is
throwing
way
it out
better.
there.
Way better. I didn't have to do nothing. So that's fantastic. So we're gonna
Nice.
we're gonna go online tonight. We're starting our next phase of our adventure out. This was not the easiest decision to actually go online tonight. There's people out there right now who are fighting for their right to exist in America. So we just want to say that our thoughts are with all of those folks out there who are literally standing up for basic human rights today. So but let's have a fun game. Let's go ahead and get started, and we will go ahead and begin. So when we last left off, all of y'all had made it back to 9 towns, and you had done some buying, done some shopping, done some done some there was some research done, all kinds of ish while you were there. So the 9 towns while you're there has become like awash with rumors about these weird night attacks that are happening. So 9 towns is this whole big area, and the southernmost one of these is Ing, which is this tiny little kind of like picturesque farming village. And everybody coming out of Ing now is talking about like these weird things that folks have seen coming in the nighttime. People are talking about, I saw strange armored warriors walking through the darkness. You've heard that there were a troop of dwarves came to the city, but then when the people stopped to talk to them, they were all ghosts who were just marching through the fields there. People are talking about animals being destroyed and travelers being attacked, and it's you guys are sort of like they're awash in all of these. When you actually are an emissary from Ing itself actually reaches out to y'all, comes up and speaks to actually sends they send an emissary who comes over and introduces himself to Wiggs and is like, Madam Wiggs, the city council of Ing presents its compliments, and they request your presence. They would like to discuss a matter of deep importance with the lofty personage that you are, and of course your fellow travelers. And they wish to discuss matters of pending business, if that's okay and to your liking. They've heard that it was you who destroyed the Cavern of Secrets. They're looking for adventurers with that kind of capability. So, if you will, this tomorrow night, hence, if you would come to the village of Ing, the southernmost village of 9 towns, and meet with the council, we would all be grateful.
Okay. If that's amenable to my party, we will see you there.
I'll protect you.
Cool. And in the meantime, somewhere during our stay here, we have met Ernie Weiss, the warrior, who has just kind of like filled our ranks as our strange wizard, on the advice of the demon embedded in his hand, went off on his own vision quest and has left and gone on to seek darker pastures.
I never really trusted that guy, so.
Well, I like dwarves, so he's all right with me.
And Dak, this is my character here. This is Forrester Longbranch. He's the little hobbit with one gigantic arm. My one arm has 18 strength.
Yeah, so he's just got like
The other arm is the
muscles.
hobbit arm.
Yeah, so, he's got like a 90s era carrot top arm on top of a murder hobbit body. So he's just dangerous. So, Wiggs, you bring this news to everybody else?
Yeah, I tell the party kind of an idea of what they might want and that we could make money doing this. Money, profit, fame.
Should we head on down to Ing earlier than our designated meet time and start asking some questions?
Yeah, like scope it out.
Cool. All right. So, that next morning, you guys make your way down to Ing. Ing is, like I said, fairly quiet, village. But when you get there, it's something happens as you guys get there. So as you guys make your way into the city, literally, when you guys sort of get into the border of Ing, there's kind of a feeling of despair here. There's kind of a feeling of that you guys live in a world that is tinged with magic and adventure, and just crossing across the border into Ing, suddenly everyone feels like just a little bit down. You just feel like a little bit like not yourself. And Wiggs, you feel it very strongly. It's sort of like, it's almost as if, just looking around, like someone has sucked the magic out of the city. It's a strange and strange and discomforting feeling is what you get off of everybody there. And as you come into the city, people are all checking. People are nakedly staring at Wiggs and at Forrester and at Brank, and they're just kids are daring one another to run over and take a look at you and get up close.
Is there a lot of iron here? Is that why I'm feeling?
Not more than the regular. Physically, this village looks just like almost any other place in Nine Towns. It's a little bit nicer appointed. It's it seems like there's money here, but yeah, you don't see there's not a special amount of iron here, at least that you can detect just from walking through it.
Does there look like there's people leaving, moving out?
No, but you also see a lot of buildings that just seem to be empty. You know what I mean? These are bustling, what should be bustling farmyards at a really busy time of the year. There's just nobody out there. So you might be seeing, some people might have already left, and you have heard rumors of disappearances. So there's only one tavern in town, a tiny little spot there. But other than that, it's got everything you'd expect. You walk in past a tanner and a blacksmith and a forge. There's a great big town. There's a great big what do you call it? Mill where where you have been invited to meet that evening with the Parliament of Ing.
So since I've been in town, I have been challenging a lot of folks much bigger than myself to arm wrestling matches, and I've been winning every single one of them.
Hell yeah.
I like to think that I've become a little bit of a folk hero among the other hobbits in town. So I'm curious if I see any hobbits around who I might be able to impress as Forrester, the strong arm.
Give me a luck check. Roll me each one you roll low on your current luck.
I rolled a 19.
Yeah, you don't see any halflings, but you do see there is a.
Did you say halfling?
Hobbits. You don't see any hobbits.
I am not half of anything.
My man. You don't see any of your fellow hobbits here, but you do see a few people who have there are one in particular who's like, would you be Forrester Longbranch? They say the strongest of his kind ever to live.
That would be me. Are you looking to challenge someone to an arm wrestling match?
Oh, not me, but my cousin. Wow, I think you'll find them a match, and possibly more than a match for your strength, sir.
Well, I'd like to meet this cousin of yours and show him how much stronger I am than him.
Yeah, her. Come along.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
Bring her
so
up.
like
Don't
you
go
guys like make your way over to the almost like they knew you were coming. You make your way over to the tavern, and sure enough, there is like the blacksmith's daughter, who is like, you know what I mean, just like a real buff human. Suns out, guns out style with like the ripped off sleeves off the milking robe. You know what I mean? It's like Forrester Longbranch. I've been waiting for this opportunity. And
You want to make this interesting?
Oh, yes, absolutely. What do you think you can beat me? Let's see. What do you got?
Oh, I know I can beat you.
Oh, big
Well,
talk.
What I've got right here, and I plop the fetus in the jar on the table, and I say, "This here is a fetus of an angel, and if it's let out, it will grow and become a full-grown angel. What do you have that can match this?"
She's like, I had heard rumors, but I have nothing that.
Came from the Cave of Secrets, full of all kinds of secrets. That cave.
Yeah, and at this point, like a little crowd, like everyone's kind of like moving their chairs up. And it's like, yes, we've heard that you were the ones that destroyed the Cave of Secrets. That's true, then, is it?
It absolutely is true. Here's the proof.
Like, may I? They all want to pick it up and look at it.
Nope, no one can touch it but me. Or anybody who beats me in an arm wrestling competition who has put up something of incredible value.
Yeah,
they may also touch it.
May I suggest, since you're a blacksmith, that you repair Forrester's vambrace, because I'm sick of looking at his elbow. It's gross.
Let me take a look at that. Oh, yeah, that's awful. Who did this?
I made it myself, thank you.
With the elbow? All right, look, I'll tell you what. If you win, I will put the prettiest elbow decoration on this that you've ever seen, young warrior. Come on. I've been waiting all day for this. And she looks stout as all get out, so we got this.
All right, let's do this.
All right, so you have an 18 strength. So give me that strength check.
I got a 21.
Ooh.
An 18 plus 3.
Yeah, it's awful. You kind of clown her. It's one of those things where like she's got like sweat, coming off her temples and such. And at the end, you like, wah, and like she actually comes off her chair, and you get a round of applause, and like a round of drinks gets bought for y'all. And yeah, sure enough, she's like, I had to see if it was true for myself. Give me that chainmail shirt that you're wearing, and I'll see what I can do for you.
Perfect. I give her the chainmail shirt and I ask her name.
She says her name is Quendy.
Quendy, I have to say it's an honor meeting you. You put up the best fight I've encountered in this village so far.
Well, thank you. And she kind of like walks past everybody, head a little higher, even though she was clearly the village champion, and then she got tossed. So, but that
Quendy,
but like,
if you're ever looking to become an adventurer, let me know, and you can fight alongside us if you'd like.
She's a little surprised to hear that, but well, thank you very much for that.
Keep it in mind.
You know where to find one day leave Ing? What would that look like? What would they even look like? But yeah, so at this point, the bar has become very genial for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So people like you guys quickly, a round of drinks appears for you, and everybody wants to hear the stories of the Cave of Secrets. It's like it's become like local legend that the people who actually sealed up that accursed place are actually here and have actually come to the city. So people are very excited. They ask a lot of questions. Do you answer? What kind of answers do y'all give when they hear the story?
Slightly exaggerated ones.
Always, yeah.
A little bit of Paul Bunyan in there,
It gets better every time we tell it.
It was this.
Does anyone believe that I was once a giant gorilla?
I mean, they're all certainly entertained, but like no one knows what to believe out of all of this and such. But like they're like, well, we've seen some crazy stuff here too, and everyone has a story like over how the last couple of weeks, how like ghosts walking through the woods, and a man they found a man torn up, like from like giant wolves that were set upon him, and this one woman is like, well, tell them what happened to the goats. I said, oh well, these goats were stabbed. Each goat slain, 5 of them in 5 nights. Something kicked through the wall of my barn and came in there and slew them all, killed each one with one blow of a spear or something, stabbed each one time and left it there to bleed to death. Have you ever heard of such a thing happening in a civilized place such as Ing? Makes no sense.
And it wasn't like a pagan ritual. It was they were just murdered for
murdered, bled out, and not even taken for meat. Dark times these are. Dark times.
Do you have any enemies?
What was your question?
Go ahead.
Wiggs?
Was the blood taken or was it spilled all over?
Well, she leans over. She says, "Well, much of the gore was gone, which makes me think that whatever slew them ate the gore up, ate up the blood and the entrails. There should have been more blood than there was. I wonder if it wasn't some kind of a foul fiend of the pits."
I just turn and kind of give Wiggs this long, thoughtful look.
I was with you the whole time. It wasn't me.
Did the sheep still have all their fingers?
All right, so you guys, after hanging out there for like the day, come like nighttime, that same envoy that came over and talked to Wiggs comes over and once again presents the compliments of the Parliament of Ing, and says they'd love to meet with you now if you could.
Are there any customs that we should be aware of?
Oh, I mean, no, just he says if the widow Castlemoss offers you any banana bread, I wouldn't have it. Other than that, no, we're like anywhere, I suppose, here, even more so.
What does her banana bread do?
It turns smiles into frowns and happy stomachs into sour bellies.
That might be a useful thing to have. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find this widow and buy some of her banana bread.
I thought that might be like the MREs and trimmers too. We should get some of that.
Leave it to Forrester to weaponize banana bread.
All right, so you guys make your way to their meeting. So basically this is the miller's home. It's a little bit bigger than the other houses that are all in the neighborhood. Somebody greets you outside. You're brought inside, and they've clearly turned sort of like the big room into kind of a public meeting area. And there's a group of aging men and one woman sitting around a broad table in the miller's dining room. Candles provided smoky illumination to the otherwise well cared for chamber. At the head of the table is a red-cheeked man with mutton chops and a silk cap. He stands as you enter. "Welcome, welcome," he says. "We of the Parliament are overjoyed you've come to Ing, and we're honored to meet those who assisted in the destruction of the legend that men call the Cave of Secrets. Well done, bravo, bully, well done." And as such, and they all kind of like look over at one another, "We hope that perhaps you could be of assistance to ourselves as we are facing a terrible, terrible threat, something beyond the ken of simple farmers and villagers as ourselves to overcome." He says, "Of late, terrible things have been haunting the shadows around Ing, harrying our livestock and late goers. Sightings of vicious, blood-soaked beasts near the Ivy wood have been reported. Ghostly figures have been heard wailing in the night. we're frankly at a loss to deal with these horrors, and we need those well suited with weapons and spells and divine might to be our champions. We have taken a collection. They kind of like, once again, they all kind of look at each other. You can tell that this money was contentious and hard to come by. Says, and we can pay 50 pieces of well-worn gold to you if you could drive out these monsters and deliver us from these horrors that have been affecting our land. Will you do that for us?
Is that 50 each or 50 for the party?
50 each, such riches. No, that's 50 that we have to pay for the job for all those who participate.
Seems a bit light.
Yeah, I can't even buy a shield with that.
We are but simple farmers, and this is all we have. I understand as such stalwart heroes of yourself, this is too meager a task and unworthy of such as yourselves, but we have no recourse.
Give me a moment with my companions, and I'll turn to them and say, it wasn't that long ago that we were invited to a simple ritual to see which one of us was, well, with the exception of Ernie and I think Brank, to see which one of us was going to be the king, and it turned out to be a world-ending disaster. And I feel if we don't investigate this and it turns out to be bigger than we think it is, and the world ends because we didn't do anything, it'll be our fault. So, I don't need my share of the money. I think we should look into it and let's find out what's going on. I'm sure there's more wealth and more profit to be found here than what the villagers can offer.
Does it look like the blacksmith is part of this council?
No, these are all kind of older folks. The blacksmith is not. Although, the woman on the end, she is very likely the widow Castlemoss, and sure enough, there's a loaf of janky-looking banana bread over on the refreshment table over on the side of the meeting hall and such. And
Janky banana bread.
That's
yeah,
right.
it's just like, really, like that's you. Did you mean for it to look like that?
I feel
Let's just say her secret is that she leaves the peels on. So
Extra fiber.
I say we should accept the offer of 50 gold pieces if they throw in a loaf of the banana bread, and if Quendi would like the opportunity to adventure, she may join us on this journey.
Huh.
I'd also like to add, perhaps maybe covering our bar tab.
Yes.
And if I perish
In perpetuity.
yes.
We're gonna bankrupt them.
And if I were to die on this quest for them, that the next child that is born in this town will be named after me.
Okay, so
discount.
They come up with some real interesting limitations on the bar tab, like you know what I mean, like in perpetuity. They're like, well,
We'll write it all up in a very serious dwarven contract with lots of addendums, and everybody has to sign it in triplicate.
Yeah, there's interesting coddles. It seems like you'll be drinking okay for a while as long as you don't mind the cheap stuff and everything. But eventually, you guys negotiate a decent enough, contract and settlement over this to, with them and such. Sure enough, they're gonna cover all that. I'll make a roll here.
Can I add a loaf of the widow's banana bread to my inventory?
Oh, she couldn't be more excited, and she actually brings it up to you like afterwards, and she's like, "I actually have an extra one. You can have this one with me." But when she gets up close, you see a swirl of blackness around her eyes, just a slight tinge of dark that's just sort of rolling around them. She's like, "Here, and if you'd like some more, you only have to knock on my door and ask."
Oh, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will go ahead and take both of these.
Your detect evil spell still going?
No, actually, I've slept since then. I think.
Made
I
out of
didn't expect to
babies.
find evil in the village.
My detect evil spell is still going, y'all. Detect evil spell. So.
I did want to go to stop by the church at some point before we leave, just whenever we're.
Sure.
Keep that covered up for now.
All right. They do have.
sorry.
Go ahead.
The people that hired us to do this, I want to ask them what preceded all these events. Like, did they tear down a temple? Did they dig? Did they build like a fish market on the street of Dagon? Did they like, I don't know, something?
You know, this is what they tell. Okay, they said that the weirdness began 6 nights ago, and as far as they know, nothing like that has happened. You know what I mean? And it's a small town, and they're like, well, if somebody had done such a thing, you know, we would certainly have heard of it. But he's like, you know, we haven't heard that there has been no temples have been erected nor burned down. As far as I know, the soil being tilled, the soil that has been tilled here by our ancestors, you know, for generations back into time immemorial, back to the old days. And like, you can see one of the like the real old folks who's not on the council, but just like sitting there, sort of like watching the proceedings. It's like, ha, the old days. None of you know of the old days. None of you. You don't remember what it was like. And they're like, you know, because the only thing that's really happened of late, we have had a death. He says Duke Thorne died recently. Just a few, you know, so that's the only major event that's been here. I mean, that was some weeks past now, and we held a service for him. We sat in vigil, but other than the death of Duke Thorne, we, you know, but that you know, he was an old man. He had lived a long life. There was nothing strange about it. He left heirs.
Do you all want to go talk to his heirs, or do you think it's okay?
What was the cause of his passing?
Oh, the Duke. Oh, the Duke was an older man. He was nearly in his 60th year, and he took a chill this winter past and never seemed to recover his strength, and his appetite had lessened, and finally he just took to bed, and all the doctors and did all their best, but we feel it was simply his time. He has gone forth to be with and we bless his passing into the afterworld. We believe that he is simply, you know, moved on. He said Ulesh is you know, Ulesh took his soul and has moved on to whatever happens beyond that.
Yeah, Martha, do you know who this Ulesh is?
Yes, in fact, you do know Ulesh is Ulesh is one of the like a neutral deity, you know, peace and prosperity, hearth kind of deity, and actually, Ulesh is the only temple that you've seen in the city. There's a temple of Ulesh here. That's the only one you actually spotted anywhere.
Okay, so local focus of worship and probably, yeah.
And when you say that, do you mean in Ing or in 9 towns?
In Ing, 9 towns is a lot more diverse than that for the most part. But it's kind of like each one of the towns has their own like 1, possibly 2, possibly 3 little temples. But there's only one here, and it's to Ulesh.
Okay.
Was the Duke a believer, a fervent worshiper?
You know, he well, he was a pious man, and he gave the right amount of gold every year. We understand to the you know, to the temple of Ulesh. He seemed to be a good one. He was they all kind of smile kind of fondly, and they're like, you know, actually, go ahead first to give you a luck check. Roll d20, roll on your luck.
Ooh. For sure.
Success.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, they all kind of go on their fond rememberings of the Duke. Oh, the Duke was a good man, and he you know, he was temperate, wise. He gave at the right time. Oh, he loved to hunt. And that same old fellow who was over there a minute ago, the really old one who's not on the council, just watching. And they're like, he's like, ha! You tell not the whole story. Oh, that old Duke.
Well, grandfather, what is it?
He said all he cared for was, they're all, you can tell the council's all a little embarrassed. He's like, all he cared for was hunting. All he cared for was his pleasures and his drink. And it's the hunting that destroyed it. He brought low one of the sacred. And they're like, he's like, he brought low one of the sacred creatures. He slew it. He slew a unicorn. And they're all like, everyone's like, now, grandfather, that's an old wives' tale, and no one believes that. He goes, no, you'll never believe. But what happened to our dreams? What happened to the dreams of our youth? What happened to the magic that once was everywhere? We were once this close to the other worlds, and now the Duke slew the creature, a noble, noble creature. Now, Duke Thorn cursed Ing, and we all suffer his curse.
If the Duke was such a proud hunter and he had killed this magnificent beast, would he not have its head mounted?
Oh, I've never been allowed, one such as I has never been in there to seek his inner chambers. But I guarantee you'll find that trophy and many more hid there within.
Who currently lives within his home where the inner chambers are?
Well, he's like, his heirs, the young Duke Thorn the Younger, his eldest son, his new wife, who is, who we hear is expecting.
Would they allow us in, perhaps?
They might grant you an audience if we were just to make the arrangements and tell him that the mighty hunters, the heroes that brought low the cave of secrets,
and the town's newest arm wrestling champion.
No, you defeated Quindy, little man.
Quindy.
Well, they're like they're all like Jesus. Like when you do that, they're like, woo, put that away, sir. There are women present. They're all like, why certainly. Yeah, so so you guys want them to arrange an audience with Duke Thorn the Younger?
I would like to.
Yeah. So so you guys basically are staying for free, eating for free, and yes, drinking for free right here in town. And 2 nights later, they arrange for a meeting, and you are able to go out there and meet up with Duke Thorn the Younger and his wife. So they essentially have like a little banquet. You guys get there, like his seneschal makes sure you guys all he basically gives you like frocks to wear and gussies you up as best he can and everything. And you guys are all coming to the table. You guys sort of sit there. It's just all of you, a few guards and some younger people. And finally the seneschal comes out and is like, presenting Duke Thorn the Younger and his wife, Lady Melissa. And yeah, sure enough, he comes out. He's probably 19 years old. His wife's about the same age. She's just starting to show. She's just maybe 6-7 months along, pregnant. And he comes out and he's like, well, it's
Brendan,
wonderful to meet you all. Say again?
You mean weeks pregnant? 6 or 7 weeks,
Months.
or 6 or 7 months?
6 or 7 months. She's starting to show.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell she was just a couple weeks pregnant. You'd have no idea. So he comes over, he shakes everyone's hand. He makes a point of he's very proud of the 3 words of Dwarvish he knows, Brank, and he kind of breaks those on you. Well, hearty gold days to you, he says, completely out of context.
Right.
And he is like, it's so wonderful to meet you all. I must say your reputations absolutely precede you. So thank you for making your presence known here. It's wonderful to meet you all. Of course, you've come during dark times. My father, Duke Thorn the Elder, passed only a few weeks ago, and we're still we reached over and pats his wife's hand. We're still we still mourn his loss, but perhaps your arrival will bode happier times coming. And Miss Tia Martha, if perhaps before dinner you would lead us in perhaps a bit of a prayer before we begin.
Of course, I'd be happy to do so. So I stand up, Everybody bows their heads. Once everybody's ready, I say, call upon the power and wisdom of Justicia, that everybody around this table be seen with her clear eyes and be judged by her wisdom, and everyone get precisely what they deserve in her estimation.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you all. Come sit, enjoy, eat. So everyone sits, food gets served. It's nice. It's it's high class. So he is like, so I understand that there perhaps is something we can do to assist you, and that you've made an arrangement with the Parliament of Ing, which is we're glad to hear of it. I hope that we whatever problems they think they have, you can resolve.
We heard your father was quite the huntsman, and
he was. He loved it. He lived in the saddle.
We thought there might be a clue somewhere, perhaps where he, in his trophy room, if we could see it.
Yeah.
A clue to what?
What's happening now in the town?
I'll tell you what's happening in the town. Drunk farmers is happening in the town, and they are just whose imaginations are running wild. And as for whatever wolf or stag is killing the goats and things in town, please. But by all means, certainly. Let me show you. So he takes you to kind of a gallery. Yeah, it's like a little study. There's some common books there up on the shelf, books of prayer and things. And yeah, there's a couple of real decent hunting trophies up here. There's like he's brought down mountain lions and cougars and things, and they don't there you see like some taxidermy things there. No unicorn. But
any blank spots?
No, like like a horn thing. Like, why is this Dusty right here in the shape of a horn? No, nothing like that. But he shows you all these trophies, and he's got a lot more skins. Yeah. He's got like all kinds of like boar skins and that kind of thing. But he's very proud to talk about his dad, the hunter, and shows you kind of shows you through everything he's got there.
I have to say, this is incredibly impressive. Your father was a very accomplished hunter. I would love to, does he have any kind of backstock of other things that he was waiting to be taxidermied? I'd love to see the complete collection.
Oh, no, this is everything. This is everything. You're you want to see a unicorn, isn't that right?
I mean,
wait, he's laughing?
If the rumors are true, of course I would love to see a unicorn.
Oh,
I'm kind of a collector myself.
He's like, there was no unicorn. Unicorns are a folly of the child's imagining.
Why did they think it was a unicorn? What was it?
Well, the old folks love to tell their stories of the fairies and the good folk of the woods and such. And one of them, they adapt them, and one of them certainly. In fact, let me get Lady Anne, my aunt. Excuse me. So sure enough, like they actually you guys all are waiting in the trophy room, and they actually wheel in the they wheel in like Lady Anne, dowager aunt, you know what I mean? And she's like, there's like huge pile of knitting on her lap, and she introduces her, she's like, oh, it's very nice to meet you all. And they're like, Lady Anne, tell the story just as you've always told it to us. Tell the story of my father, the unicorn. I'm like, oh, that story. You act as if, but I remember the old days. Your father was quite keen once he heard that the unicorns had come out of the misty forest. Oh. And he laid in wait 7 nights, waiting upon just for a glimpse of one, he and his huntsmen. 7 nights did he wait by the woods until he did see the shadow of the unicorn as thrown upon the ground in the shadow of the moon. It is said that for 7 nights he rode after it, and he rode 11 horses to death. But finally he cornered it, and he did slay it. And then it fell. But before they could take a trophy, before they could take the greatest trophy of all, the horn of the beast, he says, it turned into mist in the moonless. in the moonlight, it turned into it. Wiggs, you walk all the way around the wall out there and such, and you do not detect a secret door. But you can tell that there are other chambers beyond that. You can just hear there's, with your elf senses, you can hear one wall backs up to the kitchen, clearly, one wall backs up to other stuff.
Can I excuse myself from the party to go to the bathroom and
Sure.
look for secret doors? Poke through their medicine cabinet.
Yeah. All right. Give me I just want let's see, you slipping around in there. I guess give me a personality check to sort of
no.
make your way around there and such.
I got one too.
You want under my personality?
No. Roll a d20, add your personality modifier, roll high.
Oh, okay, that's fine then. 11.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very long before a guard is like, Master Elf, are we lost? Can I escort you back to your group?
I was for the bathroom. Could you do that?
He walks you outside to the privy.
No.
Which is welcome to medieval world, But anyway, she finishes her story and she says that as soon as the unicorn hit the ground, it turned into smoke and ash, and that a voice in the breeze heard a curse pronounced upon the Duke for his impertinence in hunting a unicorn, and ever since then, said that the Duke, he was never happy hunting ever again. He hunted, but he could never get the thrill back. And she says that he was always a sad man for this. And the young Duke is like, yes, aunt, yes. It's like, my aunt.
That's an awfully detailed story for it to be a yarn.
I know, right? But this is the way it is in the kitchens here. They just all day long. Go on with you. Go on. Good night, Lady Anne. Good night, Lady Anne.
Lady Anne, real quick before you leave, I just have one more question for you.
Of course.
When the curse was uttered, did the voice say who was uttering the curse?
Oh, well, the curse, of course, came from the other lands. That means it was pronounced upon them by the good folk, the fairies, who you once lived in these woods, but under the curse, now they are invisible to us, never to be seen again. And the dreams, when I was a child, such dreams I had. There was magic everywhere. Now, all of it gone, kept back, held, because of the impertinence of my brother, the Duke.
In your
shame it was.
In your dreams, was it ever revealed to you how to get to this fairyland?
I know where I would begin my search.
Tell me more.
Psychedelics.
She leans really close to you, Forrester, and she says, "The Marrow Farm. That is where that is where the unicorn was slain. That was the last place that the Fae were seen here. I knew Marrow's mother and father. They knew. They saw the unicorn fall. They knew." Then she pats you. Good boy. I'm glad that some still love the old stories. Come and see me anytime, young prince, anytime. And then they wheel her out.
Okay.
Forrester, you're such a charmer.
Did we go to Marrow Farm?
I mean, I would think so. That was pretty detailed for just being an urban, like a legend.
Yeah, let's bid the young Duke adieu and thank him for his fine meal that he provided us. And
although before we bid everybody adieu, should we wait until Wiggs is done with her due?
Wiggs, you can see under the privy door that the back of dude's boots who was standing there, you know what I mean, basically keeping guard over you to make sure you don't get lost again.
Right.
But you get escorted back in, and we all meet up, and we move. But but the young Duke thanks you all for an entertaining evening, and bids you come again.
Is there a family graveyard on this estate, like where they
Oh,
laid the
yeah,
Duke up, like
absolutely.
mausoleum or something he might be in?
What do they have? Yeah, they've got like a copse of trees, and then there's like grave markers out there where all of the local custom for the dead here are to be interned ashes. In other words, burns on a pyre and then the ashes being dug up. But they show you where all that takes place. They're like, oh yeah, this is they walk you out there, and he gets really he's a lighthearted dude, but when he gets out here, he takes his hat off, and he asked Tia Martha to say another prayer.
Yeah.
Well, even though he wasn't of my church, I'll say something like, everybody is part of the, circle of life. You start, every day you begin life on this planet is, trembling, walk into the sun. You see everything in this life that your God wants you to see, and then it's time to move on. Everybody, he had, it sounds like he lived a full life, and he left a legacy that should be honored, and I'd say a blessing, and with respect to his God, add the blessing of Justicia to his grave, and
Very cool. Well, he's very grateful for all of that. And, he shows you around, but there isn't much else. Like I said, it's a like kind of a sacred ring of trees. There are markers there, but there aren't like graves out here. It's just
Right. It's not like a building that you would stash a unicorn horn in.
No, yeah. No, nothing like that. No.
Okay.
All right, so that next day we're gonna try the marrow farm.
Yeah, and I'm curious, being a born and raised human man, that if Forrester, Wiggs, or Brank have some like this sound. These are all stories that I was told as a child, but never really knew to be actual. I mean, what is this realm they speak of, and is it true, or is it just more kind of fancy?
Oh, sure. The elves, they're spiteful. They'll cut you off in a heartbeat. You can't go around killing their sacred animals.
Well, Wiggs, you too have heard, there's a lot of stories in elf lore, depending on, there are some things you just don't talk about with outsiders, you know what I'm saying? You certainly have heard stories of the, horrific vengeance that the monarchs of Elfland have occasionally visited upon mortals for this or that transaction.
We're a little petty.
I mean,
Part of our charm.
A little.
Yeah. All right, so
I know nothing of these things. I grew up on a farm.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, can we?
So there was this one dude, he cut down a rowan tree, so we slaughtered his entire family. It's what you do.
As you do.
As you do. Sometimes it be that way.
So if let's assume that everything,
so you can throw magic missiles at the rest of the family.
If we assume that everything that the old woman said was true, I mean, is there anything that could be done to seek to gain forgiveness for the village? Or, I mean, Is this a fool's errand that we're on, or can we actually make it right somehow?
So, Wiggs, give me a, okay, this is gonna be a wheelhouse roll. D20, add your intelligence modifier and your character level.
17.
Okay, so this is what you know, and this is not often discussed with outsiders, okay? And it's kind of discarded, but like, you know, he's asking, is there any way to put this right? The answer is, it depends, okay? So the Elfland really has two monarchs, okay? The King of Elfland and the Queen of Elfland. So King of Elfland is benevolent. You know, he's the leader of the Sealy Court, and he is sort of like really concerned with all of elfdom, and he appreciates mortals and mortal kind. And he's more of like, his revenge against mortals would be more pranky. Like, they certainly wouldn't last. You know, he wouldn't destroy a whole, like, you know, he's a little bit easier to deal with. But now, sometimes he's not always in charge. There are two warring factions, and it's complicated. But sometimes the Unseelie Court is in charge. The Unseelie Court is in charge. That means that the highest monarch is the Queen of Elfland. She is vengeful to a fault. She has nothing but disdain for mortals and the mortal realm. So, you know, it kind of depends on who put the curse down and why they did it as to whether or not there could be some redress. So, but you
Well,
don't usually. Well,
This sounds a little more extreme than simple pranks, so
Yeah,
maybe we can
so-
narrow down.
Yeah, it kind of depends. Again, the whole Sealy Unsealy thing, it's just not really talked about with outsiders. It's just, you know.
So, is who is in charge? Is it cyclical? Like, oh, during the waning moon, it's the Unseelie Court. During the waxing, or is it like by the year? Or
It's by the year, and it's like when it's like more like a pendulum. You know what I mean? The one, you know, is deposed and is suddenly powerless and is almost in exile for a while, and then has to sort of like gather up strength and gather up followers. It's one of the reasons why the King of Elfland is a patron and takes wizards onto his thing. It's one of his agenda goals, you know, is in order to retake the throne during those periods when the Queen is in charge and has taken over everything. So it's not. It can happen over hundreds or thousands of years. You know what I mean? One can be ensconced for all of your lifetime and such. And you're an elf, but you're also of the mortal realm. You were born here, so you know the stories, but you don't know who's waxing or waning currently in the Elflands and the Twilight realm of the Fae.
could we appeal to the King of Elfland in order to get this reversed? Or
Possibly could.
it seems hard.
The King of Elfland, that's your patron, right?
No.
No. Oh, then no. Then he's not even trying to. Yeah, then he's not even trying to hear it. But I mean,
patron.
Yeah. If you could find some way to have an audience with him, certainly. If you work that out.
You still have one of Freethia's fingers. Maybe you can sacrifice that to summon the King of Elfland.
Yeah, you should try that.
Maybe you'd be interested in an angel fetus.
Exactly. So he'll know it's really not an angel fetus.
Angel Fetus is our new band name.
Wayne approves.
All right, so what do y'all want to do?
Let's go to the farm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that next day, you guys make the 2-mile trek out to the Marrow Farm.
Oh, it's the next day. Before we leave, then has Quendi had a chance to finish up my chain in that time?
Oh yeah, she has. So here's the thing: she actually put like you can tell she put some real work into it. So she's kind of put this like patch on it. The metal is slightly different. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, this is a special alloy that me and my family use. I think you'll find it very adequate. However, she has given it some real thought, but she is not willing to go on adventure. She wants to stay here and take over her father's business and be the first lady blacksmith of Ing when when such time comes. But she says she's like, listen, she takes you aside specifically. She's like, I don't know if you actually want to do this. I mean, I've heard insane things going on out in the woods. I mean, I'm talking about screaming in the middle of the night. I mean, something is out there killing those goats. So just be careful, okay?
If it's not for people like us, that screaming will never end.
You're right.
And let me show you something, Quendi. I fully respect your decision to stay here, but look at the kind of riches you could get if you go on adventures. And I show her my tiger agate.
Wow.
This is the kind of things that you see when you go on adventures. Then I put it back in my pocket.
Yes.
Keep thinking on it, Quendi. I'll be back. But the armor looks beautiful.
All right. She goes, but also, I want you to take this with you. And she gives you like a favor, like a little tiny thing that she's made to like pin to your tunic. It's got a feather in there and such, and a little, like a tiny bit of chainmail, like 3 links. And she's like, why don't you wear this with you when you go? Just, for luck.
I will. Thank you, Quendi.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you for my sore wrist and my lessened reputation. But I'm going to work on it though. Next time you see me, why I'm going to just pump this up to, So okay, so that's that night, and then the next day we make our way out to the marrow farm. Correct?
Yes.
All right, so it's about a 2-hour walk outside of Orb. But when you get there, it's picturesque. It's a single hovel, so a thatch roof with sod walls, and it waits you at the end of a muddy path. A pen containing bawling goats and a single plow horse stands near the home. The pen's wooden fencing shows signs of recent repair. Behind the house runs a tilled field with the first new crop poking through the earth. Far past the field is the misty green brown expanse of the ivy wood, some few miles away. Nobody seems to be about, but a thin trail of smoke rises from the hovel's chimney.
I think it's time for me to cast your favorite spell, Brendan. I'm going to call upon the power of Justicia to detect evil.
Okay.
Okay, so Wiggs, how much luck do you want to add to this?
I think I still have like 10 points left, but we'll just keep that in the pocket.
That's all right. I rolled a
You know what?
roll of 20.
I'd save those.
Pretty good.
Oh
Save
no!
those.
Wait, you rolled a nat 20?
No, a total of 20.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome though.
Unfortunately, not a natural 20. I'd be a lot more excited.
Y'all should have checked out Game Therapy this past week. Yeah, the people were blowing up die rolls. It was crazy.
All right, I'm immediately aware of all evil creatures and objects within 180 feet. In addition, evil creatures and objects shine with a faint unearthly glow that is obvious to the cleric's allies.
Ooh. And is bumping it up to the next level terribly helpful?
It'd be 180 feet.
I also become aware of creatures with intentions harmful to him, even if the creatures are not opposed in alignment. Yeah, that would be helpful if I got to a 24.
24? And you're currently at a 20?
Yeah, if you spent 2 luck as a hobbit.
Sure, I'll go ahead and spend 2 luck and bump that up to a 24 then.
All right.
Got it.
That'll
All
last
right.
for an hour. So you guys
All
have
right.
detect evil too.
Yeah. So you cast that out in front, and you do not detect any evil emanating from the building itself, nor are any of the goats or any of the other creatures nearby seeming to be evil. One thing you do see, though, that as you get, well, you're still, you haven't like actually gone into the yard. You're still back a little ways, right? So
We just pause for a little prayer. You know how it is.
gotcha. All right. So you now have that in place. You do not detect any evil in your immediate 180 foot. What do y'all do?
Maybe approach the
Down-
house first.
Down toward that thin stream of smoke.
Do we
Okay,
knock on
so-
the door and say we're here for a slaughtered unicorn? Like,
What time of day is it?
Yeah.
You say it was a couple miles to get there, so
Yeah. So it's like morning. It's like early morning.
all right.
Just saying.
I feel like we should have brought something.
Like a gift.
Yeah,
Like
Cake.
banana bread?
No.
Banana bread.
Oh wait, Val. Sorry. Tia Martha, could you look at the banana bread real quick?
Is it
Oh
evil?
yeah.
Oh, make it
Oh,
good.
actually, we
Yeah,
could all look
Cass-
at it ourselves now too. Yeah.
Is it evil?
Is that bread evil or is it
Does
just-
it intend harm?
Turns out it's not evil. It's just nasty.
Yeah, purify it. Purify it. Make it good.
It's I don't know if there's any
Turn
coming back
it.
for this banana bread.
Turn banana bread.
Oh, goodness gracious. How'd you get in here? All right.
Yeah, we'll just walk up, knock on the door, and tell them we're there to investigate
Here's
their goat
Oh,
murders.
hello, Bobby.
The true evil of Bobby is now.
Oh,
yes.
Bobby.
Bobby's not
Bobby's-
evil. She's just nasty too.
Little blink pup.
She went over. She spent the weekend with her Grammy and ate cat food and apparently got scrambled eggs for breakfast.
Excellent.
Scrambled my dog up 2 eggs for breakfast. Here you go. You got it better than this creature here. All right, so all right, so you go over and knock on the door. You hear from inside when you get up to the door, you can see that laid across like the door sill on the ground. You see that there's a line of salt and iron fillings laid across the threshold of the door on the outside.
Interesting.
So the top, it's one of those doors that splits top and bottom. So the top half of the door opens up, and there's a man there, old fellow, grizzly, beard, sun-baked skin, bald, long beard. He's like, and he kind of looks over at all of you, like he needs to stand, like looks like
Greetings.
Pretty sure the iron fillings is a ward against Fae.
Yes.
Did
Reading.
I know that?
Lift your curse.
Greetings. I am Tia Martha, cleric of Justicia. These are my companions. We are the sealers of the Cave of Secrets, destroyers of Gulf. What's his name?
Golf Liberator.
Gulf Frigator. We're here to investigate the malaise that has fallen over your village since the death of your duke. Heard that the Fae are involved.
I see. And they know that it's like, I wonder if you would do me a great favor, Tia Martha, Slayer of Gorf the Greater and others. He reaches over the inside of his door and takes out a horseshoe. And it's like, I would see you hold this in your hands.
Take it. And
All right, you take it, and he's watching very carefully, and he's like, perhaps you would pass that on to your companions.
okay,
Pass
move
that
around.
around.
Is anything is him this horseshoe or anything from within the home appearing evil to us?
No, nothing's popping up on the evil radar. You guys pass it around. It is uncomfortable for Wiggs to hold for a moment because it is clearly made of iron. You have that, it's iron. But like he looks over, but he's really watching Wiggs very carefully when she handles that. And then once you've all taken it, he takes it back and he says, well, it would appear that you were some of the goodly folks. Miss Tia Martha, if you vouch for all these people and are indeed a person of faith as you appear to be, then welcome to my home.
Thank you.
What is it that an old scrapper like myself can do for the likes of you?
Well, we heard that you would know something about the slaying of the unicorn on your property.
As my father, he said that was in my father's day, but I know that it was to be true. My father told the story many times. He watched it fall with his own eyes. He said it was the ruination of this land.
We're hoping to put that right. To save your people from the, this slow decay that seems to be falling over you. Can you tell us where it happened, or show us?
Real quick,
He says,
edit question.
yeah.
So he's saying this is in his father's day, and my impression is that this happened semi-recently. Is Jeff misunderstanding the story?
Yeah,
or is there something weird with the plot?
Yeah, the old lady said this took place in the old Duke when he was a young man. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, so the old Duke Thorne was the one who killed this thing when he was like before he got married, apparently. To hear him tell a story. So this would have been more than 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like quite a ways back.
Gotcha.
He
Thank
says,
you.
yeah. No worries. And anytime anybody has any questions like that, by all means, or if you people at home have a question, you can send something in the chat window, and then someone will have to tell me because I can't open Twitch on my PC at the same time I have Zoom open, or it screws everything up. So
I'm watching this.
sorry.
Interesting. So everything went wrong here when the Duke died, or everything went wrong here when he killed the unicorn? He
says, you have a lot of questions, and I've been protecting myself with the old charms for a long time. You have to understand that I've been the only one that believes this for a long, long time. I will share everything with you, but I have to ask that you'll also do something for me before I tell all the lore that I have, which is, I promise you, amazing. I have amazing stories of what went on beyond, and I know, but I'll share it only if you can do something for me. You seem to be warriors.
I would say name your price, but
back rubs, and I lift my big one strong.
Yeah. He says,
tell us what it is, and if it's a good and lawful cause, and I'm sure
we'd already be doing something for you if we correct this. So
I see. He says, my price is just this. Tonight, when the darkness comes, the beast is going to come again. It's been destroying all of my animals. It comes every night for almost a week. It's been coming every night. 4 nights straight it comes, preying on my goats. I mean, it's huge, big, with eyes that burn red in the dark. It leaves cloven footprints in the mud around me pen, and then they vanish when the sun rises. I've seen them vanish. It kills my animals with a single blow. I'm safe here inside my house, but salt and iron is not cheap. I can't protect my entire farm with it. Destroy this beast for me when it comes tonight, and I promise I will share all of my lore with you.
Don't you think we'd have a better time getting rid of it if we knew the lore beforehand?
Or perhaps you're sent by them perhaps even unwittingly sent by them to test me. I must know for sure.
Is it only goats that it attacks? It seems to have a grudge against goats.
This is a big goat city. Like, this is like what they don't have. Like you said, he's got one plow horse. You haven't seen one cow here anywhere. Everything is goats. And like when you were at the inn, like all I had was feta cheese. You know what I mean? Like there's no,
And since this thing has cloven hoof prints, does this mean it might just be like one really angry goat who's killing off all the other goats? Like a.
It's a unicorn.
He says, I believe it to be a man with a weapon, because whatever it is, it just stabs these things to death.
Stab.
Could the stab be like a unicorn horn stab?
Stab.
Well, I can't believe that the unicorn is back. I mean, Duke Thorne did kill it here, and my father did see it die, so I don't imagine,
another unicorn could be doing it.
Another unicorn? So they're cheap as swallows now? One on every corner? I doubt that.
I don't know. Who knows?
I lean into my friends, and after Gorflagrator in that cave, this can't be that hard. It only spread our fame. I'm prepared for this.
Let's do it.
You guys want to walk the grounds?
Yeah, and I'd also like to ask if we can look at the bodies of any of these killed goats.
You see,
There should have been something from last night, right?
Yeah, she'll show you. He'll show you where the goats died, but like he's been throwing the bodies out in the woods. But he'll tell you how to get he'll tell you how to get over to the. Sorry, he tells you how to get over where he's throwing all the bodies of the goats there and such. But he's not coming out of his house this minute, until this menace is dealt with.
Okay.
So is something corrupting the bodies when they're dead? So So y'all are gonna go over and take a look?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So sure enough, there's 5 dead goats there in various states of decay. I mean,
Yum.
obviously scavengers have been bit at all of them, and their corpses have been kind of like dragged all over the place. But yeah, the one that the most recent kill, it looks like it got lanced to death. I mean,
Question about that though.
Sure.
So a unicorn horn has no barb at the end, so it would go in and out pretty cleanly, where a spearhead has the big head at the end, so when it comes back out, it would kind of rupture the wound and make it big and messy. So does this look like it was punctured in and out nice and clean, or does it look like it was like messy and gross upon the draw?
It looks nice and clean, almost surgical, like it's weird,
This week on CSI 9.
Could it be magical?
It could be magical.
Unicorn horn.
It's a gore hole.
I'm being led to believe this.
You're a gore hole.
All right now.
While we're investigating, Brennan, I've been carrying the spear, right? I wasn't able to really use it at all last game. But I'm going to give it to Ernie because I think, I'll say to him, like, I wasn't the one that pulled us from the earth. The one that did is no longer with us. We used it to send Gorfilgator back to his prison in hell. But I think as a warrior, you're probably more apt to use this effectively than I am. So perhaps you should carry this from now.
All right. I accept it happily. I thank you, Anatole. I will use this wisely. Get it?
So,
all right.
Does anyone want to use the dead goats like a tauntaun? I mean, like yes.
Can we use live goats and then just hide in between them?
So we climb inside the goat skins and we're the bait and we wait for the monster.
Oh my God, I love this idea.
It's good. Sounds like a good way to get stabbed.
I'm sure there's some skins.
These goats are way too small for anybody to do that, except for Forrester.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just goats. They're proper sized goats.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like a tight fit. I don't know how smart monsters are, but like if we look like goats and we just sort of smell like them, I think it's fine.
Or we could just wear grass and then just put the goats on our shoulders and just like crawl around.
And we could just build a Scooby-Doo trap, totally hide in a hayloft, and then like spring the trap, and the net goes up, and then there's a unicorn ghost in it.
What is our host's name? I'm sorry.
The farm.
Farmer Mero?
Yeah, he's Farmer Mero. His name is Ago Mero.
Ago Mero?
Ago, yeah.
Okay. Could he show us where he keeps the goats?
Yeah, he takes you over to his goat pen. So, yeah, sure enough, just so there's you can't miss it. Okay, so if you follow the path up to the house, maybe some 50 feet away, there's the goat pen. Okay, so it's a great big thing. You can see where a section of fence has just been ripped down in there. It's got a little bit of shelter where the goats can kind of like go and hang out if it's raining, and there's food under there right now. There's like corn and whatnot and such. The goats all kind of look at you. They're nervous. They're real nervous. But you can see that there's only he's only got like 6 goats left, and you can see where he's like hastily repaired the wall on the one side of it.
What's made out of wood or stone? Or?
Yeah, made of wood.
Does it have a roof?
No. There's a tiny shelter. Like I said, there's like a shelter on the inside that's got some food under it, and then like the goats could like go under there if it rained. But they kind of hang out in the yard of it and such. So the sheltered bit is less than 20% of the full area of the goat pen is sheltered over. It's like a lean-to. No walls. You can look right into it.
Do the goats seem especially agitated?
Oh yeah, they're nervous as heck. They all kind of run to the one corner when you get there, and they're trying not to look at you.
Oh.
But the Marrow hasn't seen this thing. He's been hiding the whole time. He just sees the results of its passing.
Yo, he's not going out there at night. Yeah, he's not. He doesn't want none. He tells you specifically. He's like, in my younger days, why I would have been out there with my pitchfork, but now with my sciatica, it's
That's
it's
understandable.
Well,
I'm assuming there's woods like right up to the edge of this farm.
The woods are a little while. The woods are about a mile or two up. You can see the ivy wood from the farm, but they don't come right up to it. There's a lot of like fallow land out there. Right behind the house, there's just like all this. There's like fields where he's been growing. Like you walk past there and you can see where there's like furrows, and he's got multiple crops coming up down there. Looks like he does it all himself. But so like on the far side of the field, there is just some grassland, and then the forest. The forest really picks up about like maybe 2 miles down there, and it's very, 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 very dense forest.
So I guess this might sound crazy. I don't know, but if Mr. Marrow has an axe or some axes, maybe we could cut down a couple of trees and create more of an obstacle between the goats and whatever comes in, so we can choose the path that the creature has to take to get to the pen, and then we set up an ambush.
We dig a hole.
He's like, you're burning. He's like, let me get you an axe and a shovel. Yeah, take care of it. Yeah, he brings you an old axe and an old shovel and is like, do whatever you need to do. Thank you all.
Miss Kiora. I think he had spells that would have been useful for this.
Do you think it's a waste of time to dig a tiger trap for this thing?
Oh, no.
It's still pretty much morning, right?
As a dwarf, I think it's a great idea to dig this hole. It should be the best hole that's ever been dug.
Yeah.
3 cubits by 16 cubits.
What's a cubit?
Dwarf thing, I think. I don't know.
And I'd like to start working on getting my goat outfit together. And as a glove maker, I feel like that should give me some advantage on stitching together some goat skin together into a nice body glove.
Oh yeah. Hey, you were a specialist in kids' glove, so come on, guys, that was solid.
That was good. Yeah.
That was good.
Okay, so you're gonna dig a pit. Are we gonna cover the pit up like a covered pit?
Yeah, we'll get some switches and kind of weave them together into a mat, and then put some goat straw over it and all that. If we have time, I mean.
And then Forrester could be the bait on the other side of the pit in his goat.
Yep.
His goat glove.
Like, faux goat suit.
Are there any clues of the approach of this creature?
Oh, Brendan's having a moment.
Brendan.
Maybe the hole in the fence.
Jeff, that's a very sassy goat, man. I don't know.
Man.
The creature might just run from that. Sorry, y'all.
Frank, do you want some iron spikes to put in the bottom of your pit?
Do we want to kill it? Do we want to just catch it?
Well, I don't know. I thought impaling it on something I didn't really like might help. But
It's true.
But that might be overkill.
And also, if it's super sensitive to iron, maybe it'll sense it.
Before, yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like a magnet.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Depends on how sensitive it is to it.
So you're gonna dig a pit inside the shelter, and then Jeff, you're gonna be inside there in your new goat suit.
I don't think so. I think it's in front of this shelter, right?
Whatever the most obvious kind of avenue of approach is.
Maybe where the fence was kicked down before.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to put it there where the fence is kicked down. You got it. All right. So you guys spend the morning. You guys dig this thing. You'll come up with a trench. You make yourself a goat suit out of one of the dead goats and such. You got a lot of work on that one, but since this is a rush job, I want to go ahead and give me a check on that one. Give me a D20 add your intelligence modifier and your character level or a goat suit.
I got a modified 20.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Like at one point, like Ernie, you're like, what the hell? Oh my God, it's him! Like you were completely shocked, and you know, it works, man. That's quite a goat suit there.
I have to angle myself so my one giant arm isn't the visible part.
Wait, that goat's Forrester?
Was Forrester a goat the whole time?
The Trogdor goat. One beefy arm sticking out the top.
I'm not the only one taking over Mighty Beasts, Anatol.
All right, so oh my God, I'm sorry. All right, so yeah, so sure enough, that night, where are people? So there's the pit outside of the thing, in front of where the fence got repaired. You're in the inside in the goat suit. Where are the rest of y'all?
I'm helping to dig the pit.
No,
Well,
I mean
after.
like
Oh, for the ambush?
Yeah, so
behind
we
the
can
shelter.
camp in the dark. We don't have to have a campfire or anything. We just sit there,
so
taking
he's gonna
turns.
hide in the dark,
Yeah.
keeping an eye, but in like about how far from where the pit is, like the ambush point.
Can we
Are there
get?
any
Can we?
trees nearby that like I could climb up and have a ranged weapon ready?
How about on top of the lean-to?
Maybe on the
You know
roof.
what? The on top of the lean-to, she's only about 8 feet up in the air, and she'd be really easy to spot. Like it'd be like sitting on a doghouse, you know.
How far is
But
the
on
house?
far yeah, you could either be on the roof of the house, tricky because it's thatched, or on the far side of that, there's actually a tree on the roof of the house. You would have the elevation. You would be just inside a long range, and you could get up that tree on the far side and be like ready to shoot an arrow down.
Okay.
And I
Yeah,
also
but-
say that I have both of my axes nearby me, kind of buried in the hay, so that
Gotcha.
if needed, I can go ahead and retrieve them.
Gotcha. All right. And so one more thing. I want one more roll. Brank, I want a D20 and add your intelligence modifier and your character level. This is your pit construction. Like how effective is this pit going to be? Should something fall into it?
18.
Man, it's like what, this would get an actual tiger. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what's coming, but like this could definitely,
It's got to be deep enough so that because unicorns can probably jump pretty far, so it's got to be the right depth.
Especially
Yeah.
magic ghost unicorns.
And then we've got to smear ourselves with goat dung so it doesn't smell us.
Ooh.
Sure. There's, you know what? It's all you can eat. You know what I'm saying? There's as much goat dung as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I
I'm just
realize
gonna
now that
roll
was
around, do a barrel roll.
I phrased that poorly.
I was about to say, all you can eat.
Yeah.
All you can eat.
Or
The regular Cracker Barrel.
it comes at sunset, right? So
Then instead of being on the roof, I actually want to hide myself in like some straw so I can see it and cast spells easily.
Okay, you will hide
yeah,
in the goat pen in the goat straw.
Yeah, like closer to the action so I can
You got it.
end our
And
habit.
the rest of where's everybody else as in relation to the pit? Like how far away are we hiding in the
How
dark?
far away is the house from the pen?
It's about like 50 feet to the shelter. From where your pit is, it's probably like your pit's on the far side of it. So the pit's going to be like on the maybe like 100 feet away.
What
Is there
about the farmhouse?
You hide in the farmhouse?
No. How far is the farmhouse?
Like I said, the farmhouse, it's only about 50 feet to the side of the gate, the goat pen, but about 100 feet to where you're putting the pit.
Oh, we could just probably camp just by the farmhouse.
Sure, you got it.
Yeah. Is there any? There's no other outbuilding.
Is there like a pile of hay that we could to kind of?
You know what? There's a pile of hay, if you wanted to, there's a pile of hay in the goat pen. So if you guys wanted to, you could all like be in the goat pen under hay.
Oh,
That's
let's
it.
take,
And then-
we could take turns, and whoever's in watch can go hide there, and we'll just swap out during our watch. Wait, do we know
Gotcha.
what time this usually happens?
He says only he's like the Fae, they only come after dark.
Do we know what the phases of the moon is like tonight in terms of like how much moonlight we're gonna have?
Let me check. You know what? Somewhere in my gunna, I have a phase of the moon die, which would have been perfect for this right now. But I will go ahead and roll.
A D30?
Drawing on my old werewolf the apocalypse days. Why, it's a crescent moon. There will be some light out, but it will not be intensely bright tonight.
Before we all go to our hiding places, I would like to cast Blessing before we fight this possibly demonic creature. I don't know yet. Well,
I don't know.
Hey, but
So,
you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah. So when are you going to cast a spell?
Right before sunset.
Just before sunset. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are dark fae unholy to just to
They're
share?
chaotic, they are. Oh, so
If they're chaotic, they are.
yeah. Well, I would have to cast it on like each person, but we'll start with I'll have to cast it per person, so I might have to just cast it on a couple people. We'll start with Ernie because he's going to be toe to toe, I think, with something, and that's a failure.
All right. So you will pick up a point of disapproval.
Again with Brank. You see, likes Brank, right? Right?
Yep.
It's 11, not that much apparently. Wait. Oh, come on, Justicia. Why don't you like Brank today? You know, maybe she doesn't feel like helping right now. She's just not in the mood. She, you know, it's early in the adventure. She wants to see what we can do on her own. Never mind.
Brendan, can I take a either some hay or other local, whether there's a lot of like the grass is tall, and make kind of like a very quick ghillie suit, and I'm just gonna hide kind of in range, like within 40 feet or so of the pit with my short bow.
Yeah. What's your background?
I'm a thief and a shepherd.
Oh yeah, Shepherd knows about making a straw suit. Give me a D20 check. Add your intelligence level and your character level. Wheelhouse.
Could dress you up like a scarecrow and put you on a stand.
So that is so I have a -1 intelligence and I'm first level, so it's a wash. So it's a 15.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you come up with a pretty decent little straw suit for yourself out there.
I like the idea of putting up on a scarecrow.
Yeah.
40 feet away.
All right.
All right. So we wait till that night. All of us in our respective positions. Forrester, you were inside there in your goat suit. Every once in a while, y'all look back at that like dude looking at the window at y'all like, I cannot believe the efforts. But you're the experts, and that's why you hire them. Okay. So sure enough, it doesn't happen right away. Like sunset happens, and like you guys wait and wait and wait. It gets darker and darker and darker. You guys are all kind of cramped. You guys swatch places. Let's go ahead and so right at midnight, just about midnight, all of a sudden coming across the fields, you see this great creature visible in the moonlight as it rears up on its back legs. So before you, sure enough, it's a massive stallion, larger than even the war horses of armored knights. Its coat looks mottled until you realize the beast is covered in caked and dried blood, staining its formerly white hair rust red. Large, wild eyes grow crimson in starlight, and the moon's rays reflect off the 3-foot-long blood-stained horn protruding from the creature's forehead. And so I'm going to give him a roll. He comes over. There's a lot of disguise and stuff going on here, but he's going to get a check. He kind of wanders up. And looks around, and then he sees Forrester the goat standing there, and he's just like, and sure enough, he comes charging up, and I'm gonna give him a reflex save to deal with your pit. Okay. So here it comes. I got a 4.
Good. Yes.
So Yeah, sure enough, he comes just charging up there and then just poof, just falls through and into the pit and makes this horrific noise. So, holy, nice one, dude.
Is that a
He's
trapper
all
keeper?
gross though.
Yeah. Good. That's like.
Please
straight
tell
out.
me somebody gave you that to be a model for what you're going to paint on the side of their van.
Yeah, no, I've had it since like 1984.
Gotcha. All right, everybody, roll me initiative.
Who's currently in the haystack?
Oh, good question. Who is in the haystack? It's going to be. It's not. Is it? We're calling Ernie. Ernie's going to be there.
Mhm.
All right. So
yes. 20 initiative for
All
Ernie.
right, 20 for Ernie. All right. What did Brink get?
10.
10 for Brink. And Wiggs, how'd you do?
4.
4 for Wiggs. And Tia Martha?
9.
9 for Tia Martha.
Are we trying to catch this thing or are we trying to take it down? Guys.
Anatole?
Get a 17. I was thinking play it by ear. Like I think like priority is capture or find out what the hell it is, and then if we have to like take it down.
And Forrester, what you get?
Anatole, what's your dex?
It's 18.
18. I'm going right after Anatole.
Gotcha.
I'd say subdue it and see if we can communicate with it if we can.
Just throw some ropes on it.
I got a chain.
Throw some chain on it.
Yeah. I think we need to beat it up a little bit to bring down its hit points before
Slow
we
it
can-
down. Yeah, before it
Yeah,
jumps out of the
so-
pit and kills us all.
Yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm
so
pretty
he,
sure it has a lot of hit points.
He falls down this pit though, and now like he's like on top of your like thatch, carpet figure. I made him a high-low roll to see how he did coming in. I rolled a 1. He walked right into that mess. You know what I mean? Just flat-footed. So
Excited
Ernie,
about Forrester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you hear it go down in there. It is dark, but Ernie, you can go first.
How far away am I? Is the haystack
You are back. You are back in the pit, the edge of it. You're about 40 feet away, so you can run over there and charge and get to the edge of that pit.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull out one of my hand axes because that's actually my lucky weapon. And I'm going to go ahead and charge to the edge of that pit and go ahead and chuck a hand axe. And I'm going to see if I could disarm that thing by trying to go for its horn.
The actual horn?
Yeah.
All right, you're going to go for a shot against the horn. So here's the deal.
I want to consider it a disarm.
Yeah. If this is the case, really what you're looking for is a sunder. Okay.
What?
So I will tell you that it's one of those things. Either it will a sunder, you're gonna like cut it off.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like actually have to smash it. So I got rules for that kind of thing. If it does not work, it's not going to do any damage to it. It's just going to be weapon versus horde. So go ahead and make your attack roll. Add your D die, and tell me what you get.
All right. +3. Ugh, I rolled an 8 and a 1, 9, 10, 11, 12. My total roll is 12. And I did not get the deed.
Yeah, so it actually buries itself in the dirt next to it. And he looks up at you with like true hate in his eyes.
I stand there and I pull out my other one.
All right, it's Anatole, you're up.
All right, I'll pop up and I'll come to the edge of the pit with my short bow and I will take a shot at it.
All right, go ahead and make a roll.
I got a 14.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
All right. I'm going to spend a couple of luck on the damage.
Okay.
2 luck.
All right, give me that total.
7 points of damage.
Okay, yeah, so you hit it, its flank, and it just shrieks. It is Forrester.
Our detect evil is long over, right?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to step up and actually Forrester is having second thoughts about what's happening here. And Forrester is gonna say, great creature, we are here to lift this curse. Tell us what we can do to set you free.
Okay. All right. So it looks at you for a moment with its eyes. So it is the creature's turn after you do that. So you yell down there to it.
And I'm brandishing Quendy's luck token.
Okay, gotcha. You got that in your hand. Gotcha. He looks up at you for a moment with almost like wonder in his eyes, right? And then he kind of lunges forward to where Anatol, where you're standing there on the edge of the thing, and uses his horn to rip in and dig and try to undermine the edge of the pit to make you fall under it. So here goes that attack. Yeah, man, he's going to get 17. Go ahead and give me a reflex save, DC 13, to not fall into the pit.
All right. I got a 12, so I will spend a point of luck. Which, with the luck, it gives me, it's going to make me a 13 at least, but
Yeah.
I guess maybe it gets me a 14.
Gotcha. So yeah, so he you nearly slide, he basically destroys the edge of the pit with his horn. So digs it, checks him out. So a big chunk of earth slides into it. You just barely back up off that before you actually go in there and slide down there to where he's waiting for you. And then for his move action, he's down there I'm gonna give him a chance to for his move action. He's gonna try to basically, he can't jump out of it, but he can kind of try to bound out of it by hitting the dirt a couple times. It's gonna be a leap check. He doesn't get it on his first turn, so we'll see how he does next round. So it is where's Wiggs? Wiggs on 4. So it is actually Brank. Time to get it, Brank.
Brank's gonna try and throw a lasso on it.
Hell yeah.
Around the head area, and maybe the horn if I miss. Is a lasso roll? Does that get a D die?
I mean, sure. We'll have to assume that you made up a lasso, at some
I got
point.
some rope. I mean, it's not hard to make a lasso, right?
I don't know.
That's what warriors do. Or
What am I,
dwarves.
Hopalong Cassidy?
Dwarves know it's a special Slipknot dwarven lasso. So yeah, it's super easy.
God sakes, then sure.
It's not some kind of regular, human lasso.
Off the rack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
That's not so great. I got an 8. That's a 13.
Yeah, he is going to get out of the way of that thing before it lands over his head. And he looks at you with real hate,
Yeah, that would hate me too.
Yeah, he's real mad about that. But we'll see what picks gonna happen, because it's time for Tia Martha to do some Tia Martha specialty.
All right, I guess I will go over. I need to, since I was one of the ones waiting by the house, I need to run over there.
Okay, so you're gonna run up this round since you were by the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next round you will be in range to either to connect with whatever.
To do this. Yep. To do something.
Wiggs, you are hidden under the. You are hidden in the hay. What are you gonna do?
I'm also having strong second thoughts about this. I guess I will also try to communicate with it.
All right. What do you do?
I don't know. I mean, we both like blood,
Sorry.
I could show it my ceremonial blood bowl. We're both from the other world, we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
I'm just getting Artax vibes from this.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Artex, I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Never-ending story.
Never-ending story.
The sad horse.
Yeah. Oh God. Now see.
Sorry. Like, sorry, that's not my character. That's me.
I hear you. Look, here's the thing, okay? Like, look down this. You're there looking at this thing down in the moonlight, okay? And you're like, oh, a red unicorn, but actually, it's completely smeared with blood. And it just tried to topple just try to topple Anatol into the pit with the intention of stomping him to death. So it's the opposite. He's not like that. You know what I mean? Like, he's the horse you're trying to shove into the swamp before he murders you.
Okay, fine. Then I'll cast color spray, I guess.
All right, go ahead.
As a former unicorn, he shouldn't be bothered by a color spray, right?
Still a unicorn. He just, I don't know. Okay.
Gotcha.
18. All right. Each target makes 2 will saves or be affected.
Okay, but first, all right.
What,
hold on.
is the next level up helpful?
No, it just increases the number of targets.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, though.
All right. So what's your total number on that?
I got a 19.
Okay. So first of all, okay. You don't know by what means, but like it simply is unaffected by that spell. Like it you know, it like looks you right in the face as you zap it with colors and lights and such. It should have worked, but somehow it just takes that.
Do like the blasts of rainbow go like pew pew pew, like blink like off of it? Or...
No, they kind of hit him like it's like let me see, is it an actual? Yeah, it just stands there. These lights that you have seen take down a giant eyeball titan and whatever and such. It plays over this the unicorn in the pit like you had thrown a handful of confetti on it. It just looks at you like and doesn't seem to doesn't even see that like didn't even like resist it like a saving throw would happen. It just didn't seem to affect it.
He's not impressed by your glitter.
I mean, we'll see. So it's the top of the order. Ernie, you were there at the edge of the pit.
Yeah.
And
did he react to Forrest at all?
To Forrest? No, he didn't seem to like. He doesn't seem to be. You don't know if he has the ability to communicate and simply didn't choose to, or if he didn't understand at all. If he only has animal intelligence. He's not at all like, you hear stories of unicorns and they're always like, rescuing maidens and, doing good deeds. This one does not seem to be that guy.
All right, I'm going to continue and I'm going to chuck my last hand axe at him and do the same thing. I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for that horn of his.
You're feeling weird about ending a curse of slaying a unicorn by slaying a unicorn.
Gotcha. So
we got to beat it. We got to beat it up before we can subdue it.
Yeah.
So, but only a
what?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Yep. Are you muted? You're
sorry. I rolled a 13 and I did not get my deed.
Yeah. Okay. So he kind of like parries that thing in the air with his horn. And deflects it. So this one actually goes long and falls outside of the pit. Also, I forgot to mention, but all of the goats are going insane. I should just mention the goats are going nuts this point. They're all trying to run for it.
How far would that axe go? I saw the move.
I will say you can run over to it this round, but you can't grab it. You can grab it next round.
Okay, I'll go up.
Right. You're gonna run over there and get it. Yeah,
I'll run over there and that's it.
Gotcha. All right. So it's Anatol.
So I feel like I want to do something heroic besides just shoot arrows at it. So I think I want to try and leap from the pit onto its back.
Hell yeah. This is the wrong time to roll a 1 though, Tim. For God's sakes, whatever else you do, don't roll a 1. I'd hate to see a 1 pop up on your die there.
Well, am I rolling an attack or what am I doing? A dexterity check? Agility check?
Oh no, he can't go. He's in a pit. You just got to make an attack roll.
Does that horn look like a 1?
Just don't roll.
I impale myself on the horn. Awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm going to show you what I rolled. I don't know if you can see it because it's so close.
It's a 2.
Oh.
Okay, so you come within a hand's breadth of like literally just jumping down and getting impaled and dying from it. But you managed to sort of bank off of him. You're gonna take a point of damage from like hitting him and kind of bouncing off into the pit. And now he's looking down at you like, "Hey, what's up there, Tony?
Who's in the pit?
But luckily, Forrester can go first. So hopefully Forrester can do something amazing.
All right. Forrester is going to. I'm gonna hop down there and go full murder hobbit.
Murder hobbit!
Wait, why is it doing it that way? Oh, whatever.
That looks good.
That's kind of wild though. That's like the devil. I like that. Ooh, damn, man.
Here we go. So, okay, I've got a 13 and a 4.
So, what are you doing? So you're jumping in and going for him with two-handed weapons?
Yeah, hopping
yeah,
down, axe first.
Yeah, you jump in there and land that upon him, but you do not actually make connection with a 13 and a 4.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and bump that up. I'm going to spend 2.
So a 13 and a 6?
To make that 13 a 17.
All right. That makes more sense. Yeah, hey, that's going to hit. Give me some damage.
Okay, so that's going to be 10 points of damage, and just for fun, I'm going to spend 2 more to make it 14.
And you know what? So, suddenly, y'all see Forrester leap in there, and for a moment, there's flame. It's as if you see flames behind him. He comes down there and hits him with that axe right across the back of his head. Kapow! And before he can stab Anatol through the chest with his horn, he just gets nailed so hard. He falls down, staggers to his knees, tries to get up one more time, but then just falls over. Kaboosh! He is dead.
Murder hobbit.
Dang.
Oh.
Now we're all cursed. You know, the point of putting a unicorn in the pit is so that we're outside of the pit and the unicorn is in the pit. Digging a pit and then jumping in it is the reverse of that.
I wasn't planning on doing it, but I was afraid when Anatol was there by himself.
And man, it all worked out, so.
Yep.
And hey, we tried to reason with it.
It's true.
You tried,
Tried.
We all did feel a little bit bad about
go
mashing
hunting.
up the unicorn.
It's like going into the woods and being like, all right, dear, you want me to shoot you? And if it doesn't say anything, you shoot it.
Yeah.
You know what? Is it a carcass? Is it a body of a unicorn covered in blood?
Oh yeah, it's modeled. It's not, like I said, it's not a pretty animal. I mean, this thing is just.
Has it been mauled before? Has it been?
No, it wasn't injured. You think all that blood belonged to somebody else, and in fact, a lot of somebody else's. It looks like to you.
So
I'm wondering if this thing is going to come back. If I should chain it up with my iron chains.
You should totally do that.
All right, doing it. I
All right,
jump in with my chains.
I mean, I was
Nice.
thinking if we could keep it alive, or that doesn't matter, but just see what happens to it when the sun comes up.
Is
So
it,
here's good.
can we check? Is it dead? Can we roll the body?
Yeah,
And
he's too heavy to roll. He weighs more than a ton. But you can kind of shake his
is it really-
face and.
is there a spark of life? Can we bring it back and heal it and try to communicate?
You could, you've got a round. If you want to try to heal it, you can absolutely do that.
I chain it first.
Yeah. I'm going to throw my lasso down and get these guys out of that hole.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
The number of rounds equal to its hit die.
Yeah, so you guys have got mere seconds. So here's the thing: 10-foot chain. He's bigger than the biggest warhorse, so you can kind of wrap that kind of around his head or around his body one time. You can't
Just hobble its front legs or
You
something.
just,
Yeah,
just
hind
hog tie 'em.
legs so it doesn't jump out.
All right, you go it around its hind legs so it can't jump out. Okay, so then you're gonna go ahead and heal it.
Yep, I'll do that at the same time that they're hobbling it because I know how much time I have, which is not much. So
Gotcha. All right.
all right, Justicia doesn't want to. I rolled a
Yes.
total of 5.
He is chaotic, and you pick up a point of disapproval.
Yeah, she's like,
Don't even.
pretty much now, what are you thinking?
So be it.
Does it seem as though the farmer's been watching from a window or from the door?
Right?
No, it seems as though he's sitting inside in the dark with a knife, hoping that it's all over soon, you know. Yeah, so yeah, you know, you do not bring this thing back from the brink of death. It is slain and seemingly for good. What do y'all do?
Oh, I would like to take a drop of its blood and feed it to my little chaos baby in the jar.
Yes,
Just
it's very happy for it. Yes,
just the one. I want to see what happens compared to the other baby in a jar. Okay.
Okay, I do not feed.
it goes into a milk trance. I just learned what a milk trance was today.
Oh, I mark which one is which. I want to see like if the unicorn blood chaos baby turns more evil. No.
Gotcha. All right, so we now have a control group
Yes.
and an experimental group.
We're very scientific.
Will the unicorn blood make the experimental one even?
I want to make a tiny Voldemort.
Sound plan.
I'm not going to know of any, but I'll ask Tia Martha and I'll ask Wiggs, like, are there any rituals or funerary rites that we can do? This is like or like send this thing on its way back so it's not trapped here, or put its soul to rest so it's not angry anymore. Like, is there anything, any customs?
Well, it's chaotic, so I'm not sure I can really tell you. I think we might have to ask Wiggs.
Yeah, Brendan, do I know anything about that? Do we need to like
Give me that roll, d20, and add your intelligence modifier and your character level. It's elf thing.
5? I know nothing.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, you don't know.
Well, maybe we just leave it in the woods for its kind to reclaim it, or we could burn it. And
We might want to. Well, I feel like if we keep it in wake, because it might come back overnight. I don't know.
All right, so you want to sit? Y'all want to sit and watch with it?
Yeah, and wait till the sun comes up
Sure,
and then
you
deal
got
with it. Also want to
All
go
right.
bang on the farmer's door and scare the shit out of him and get
Is it a
Put
real
some-
unicorn? I checked the horn.
put some coffee on.
Oh yeah, it's a real. Yeah, you were looking for a unicorn falsy. No,
hoping.
this is the real deal Hollyfield. He's like, you know, stuck on it and such. Yeah, the farmer comes down. He's like, oh, this is the creature. This is just as my father described it as it was a child. It's returned to life. Will it return to life again?
Probably.
Tell us all the lore you know.
Yeah, where's that lore at?
Oh no, of course.
Good lore.
Come inside, and I'll tell you everything. So he puts a pot of coffee on.
Somebody's got to stay out there.
All right, who is going to stay out there? And
I'll stay out there. There's got to be eyes on it. It'll disappear.
I'll say, how about you brew some coffee and bring it to us, and we'll all stay out here with it, and you can tell us the lore while we all keep watch over this unholy beast to make sure it doesn't rise again.
Yes, Master Hobbit, absolutely. So maybe half an hour later, he comes back with coffee for everybody, and you're all sitting there at the edge of the pit with the goats. The goats are all kind of calmed down now, watching as this unicorn just lays there at the pit and continues to be dead. He tells you the story. He says that when I was a boy, Aang wasn't like other places. The nights, they were magic. I mean, there were lights of all colors dancing in the depths of the hedgerows, among the trees. I mean, the dreams were richer then too. The old folks, God bless them. He says the old folks said that Aang stood near the borders of Elfland, and that the fairies would come across into our world at twilight and depart at dawn. It was said the good folk would hold banquets in the mound near Ivy Wood, and that the nobles of Elfland would hunt in the woods and the meadows around it. Folks would steer clear of that hill, lest they had business with the fair folk, convinced the mound was a doorway to the Elf King's lands. Then, when I was 15 winters old, the kind ones stopped coming to Aang. That was the year that the old Duke killed the unicorn right here on our land. Of course, now the Duke's dead a couple weeks ago, and I thought, well, maybe the borders were open again now that he's dead. Because it said that the king of Elfland was so angry with the Duke for hunting his unicorn that he closed the borders between here and Fairy. But I don't know why, but this last week, those who walk in the twilight have returned angry, full of rage, and I fear this beast that you killed is just a taste of what's to come if the danger to we Ingsmen is to be stopped. I'm thinking that where you need to go now is the mound. The mound where all those who wish to find the fairy was. I've seen it. I've been there. I'll take you.
How's this coffee?
I mean, it seems like it's half chicory, but it's for farmer coffee is not bad.
All right, so I trust him.
Yeah, he is happy to, you guys sit all night with this thing. He sets up with you too, every once in a while going over to like tend his goats for a minute. Then like finally it's sunrise, and when the sun comes up, like you see that the actual rays of the sun hits this thing, and sure enough, get the exact wording of this thing. Yeah, the creature melts away, transforming into a fetid vapor that burns away in the sun, just disappears. At the same time, you see that its tracks. It had this is the thing. It had cloven hoofs like a goat. It didn't have like regular like one-piece hooves. Like I don't know what the word is, but like a horse does. You know what I'm saying? Right. They have one. It's essentially one great big toenail. This thing had cloven hooves, and so you couldn't miss its giant hoof prints either. But its hoof prints also disappear. They also turn to vapor and just melt away.
Can I catch any of the vapor in a jar?
You try, it disappears like vapor. It's just like, I mean, the best, how you could keep some though, if you were to go over and inhale some and take it into your lungs. That's probably one way to save it for a while.
That seems like a really good idea.
Thank you.
It smells like unicorn vapor.
Did anything else unusual happen around the time of the Duke's death, or just?
He says that that's when he tells the whole story. He says, like, I know that people are talking about hearing things shrieking out in the woods, and seeing ghostly armies and things, but I haven't known any of that. Except that one traveler did definitely I saw the body of that one traveler they found. Yeah, it looked like he was torn up, but if you ask me, it was wolves. Big wolves, but wolves.
Well, it's been a long day and a long night for us. Perhaps you can make us some comfortable digs that we can get some sleep in. And
of course,
taking a long nap, you can maybe make us a nice big lunch, and then we'll head off to this mound.
Sure. So basically you are all sleeping in his kitchen, which is the only, like, he's got one basically room and such. But like you guys nap, and when you guys wake up, it's like 3 p.m. And he's put together, like, he's made actual hunter sandwiches for everybody. So you guys have got like these like goat and goat cheese sandwiches to go. So he's packed up a lunch for y'all, and he says he will guide you to where the mound is.
And do you have any pipe weed?
Give me a luck check. Maybe he smokes.
Net 20. So that means
hell yeah.
He's like, you kidding me? My brother died of lung cancer. I never I mean, between that and my sciatica, I never missed tobacco. Never. All right, so sure enough, that next day, he leads you all out, or that afternoon. So he leads you out. So like you head in the directions of the woods, and when you get up close, he says, "Look there." And sure enough, you see this is just kind of a low hill, like a mound out there. And he said that is the elf mound. That is the fairy. That's where the the kings and queens of fairy would come and they would hold their banquets.
Now, is the mound hollow, or is it the mound itself? Or
He's like, oh, I don't know. I don't, I've this is as close as I've ever come, and frankly, as close as I mean to, sir. But he says he's like, this is where every sighting of the fair folk has always taken place here by this mound. I mean, all of the stories that my father told that, said so again and again and again. Woo!
I forgot I had that.
Nice.
Is Forrester still wearing the goat suit?
No.
Can you be? No.
Could you?
Seems like a good time to cast Detect Evil before we go any further. Just, for everyone's sake.
Sure.
All right, that's another failure.
Yeah. So
Try this D20. I haven't triggered it, but it's
yeah.
the tension is
I will say that the fight was around midnight, so all of those this count today as a day where everyone rested. So you'll get your now your disapproval should be 2. Anatole gets 1 point of luck back. Forrester gets 1 point of luck back. Nobody got hurt because I couldn't quite drag anybody down in there with me. But maybe next time. That was a very good plan, well executed. So,
that was a rest, and I only have 1 point of disapproval now.
Plus the one you just picked up for Flub and Detect Evil.
Do we get unicorn XP?
Oh yeah. I will say you guys are going to get 2 XP from that. No one took any damage. There was some luck points spent, but 2 points of experience points.
What's our total for everybody?
What?
What's everybody's
38.
total? My new character sheet.
I have 38 total.
Mine's only a 31 right now because I'm behind.
Only
Oh yeah,
everyone
where's Ernie at in terms of XP?
Yeah, I was just assuming the bottom at first level.
Is he
Would
at-
be 10.
You know what? Let's to be fair, let's say that Ernie is at the same level of Forrester. To start
Okay.
off with.
So Ernie,
You
this
got-
2 points just brought you to 31.
All right, so you got 31
Cool,
starting
thank
off.
you.
You know what I'm saying?
And,
And Brank actually has the same amount as Tia Martha. So
Which, how much is that?
38.
38.
Plus 2,
Yeah.
right?
any chance,
That's included. 38
Okay.
total as a
Total.
breakdown.
Done. Check.
any chance that Forrester gets one for Quendy?
For defeating her in Mortal Kombat. Let's say that there might be other benefits that have come from that relationship that we're not aware of just yet.
Okay.
Guys, I need 1 second, okay? Talk amongst yourselves for a moment while I just need a moment.
Great. Well, now I know that Forrester and Quendy are friends with benefits.
Well, yeah, she gave you her favor.
Totally. Yeah, I've got some benefits.
Right, this worldly hobbit comes to town and makes an impression on this impressionable young blacksmith girl. She makes you a pretty bauble to wear in her memory. Clearly, there's going to be a wedding when we get back.
Romance is in the air.
And romance is in the air. So, do you need a plan to get you out of town when we get back quickly, or
Go disguise.
or do we need to, bring a dowry back with us? So, which do you want us to do, Forrester?
I think Forrester's happy being a bachelor right now.
Okay, all right. So, we'll find a way to gently let her down.
So for the mound, do you want to keep watch and see if there's any activity, or do you want to burn it to the ground or surround it with iron spikes?
I think we should see if
Maybe
we can find
go-
a way in.
And maybe we can negotiate peace. I don't want to burn down the forest.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're gonna like us very much after we killed their cool unicorn
Yeah.
murder thing.
But I
I'm
mean,
hoping
it's
they're just
like a
corrupt.
flash
I heard your
night.
unicorn died, and we figured we'd come here and try to
Tell you we found your lost unicorn.
You know what's really messed up? If he had told us about the mound before we slaughtered the unicorn, like, I feel like we would have come here first and been like, yo, why is your unicorn so mad?
Yeah, we can deal with Farmer Marrow later for
Yeah.
his poor timing.
You know, it occurs to me he could have brought his goats into his house at night.
Yeah.
Farmers used to do that in medieval times.
They used
You
to
just
build
lived in
their
the goat pen.
houses, especially like in Northern Europe, they would build their houses with the barn underneath. So you actually get the benefit of the heat of the livestock, like rising up through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not all that was rising up through that thing. Whew.
It smelled a little bit. It's okay.
Get used to it, you know?
Rather a lot, I guess. But although I like goats, and we had goats at the Ren Fest, and they were always fun. The horses loved them. We had one goat that would like always hang out with the horses all the time. They loved them. It's like their best bud.
Goats and donkeys are amazing, and llamas and peacocks are assholes.
Baby goats are adorable. My grandpa had this is getting off topic of the game. My grandpa had a billy goat, though, that was pretty mean when I was a little kid.
All right, if you're watching, please, somewhere in the comments, please put your opinions on which animals are cool, which are less so. I'll go ahead and say mine. I love lobsters. I think lobsters are so, like, I love their style. Like, I don't care if Godzilla steps up, lobsters like claws. They're just ready to go, you know. So
Share your goat stories.
share your goat stories.
I like animals that are assholes.
Like, I saw a video of a sheep just charging at the camera, and it just kind of like bounced like this. It was very cute.
There's a oh my god, I watch a lot of funny animal videos, a lot more than I probably should. But there's one where they put a tether ball by where this ram had to go by, and the ram like attacks it for like an hour, like destroys it. It's hysterical.
It's adorable.
All right, so he, once you guys were there, he, he's like, I'm going to go now, but I'll tell you this, be aware, because when night falls, this place changes. Be so careful. Thank you all for what you've done for me and my livestock. I won't forget it.
Tell us more about how it changes.
This is where it all comes from, right here at the mound. I haven't, this is where, in my father's day, this is where the distance between the mortal realm and the realms of fairy was so close, you could stand in one and see the other. This is where it all took place.
And Jay McDevitt 19, who I'm assuming is Jess McDevitt, says that she loves pygmy goats.
Yeah, they're cute.
Aww.
They're adorable.
Thank you, Jess. Hi, Jess. Thank you for tuning in. I owe you an email or two. Probably two.
Hello.
Why do those emails, Brendan? I hate being the person who has all these unanswered emails. It drives me nuts.
Sorry,
Jess, I'm advocating for you. Brendan, reply to those emails.
I will. I had to read Adventure today. All right. So what do y'all do? Oh, so that's all he says. He's clearly trying to leave and like get out of here. Like, well, I'll just leave you to it. But yeah, be careful. Anyway, so take care.
I have a question.
Yes.
Before he leaves, and also possibly for Wiggs. Like, why would the unicorn be targeting goats? Like, are goats for somehow symbolically or otherwise opposed or dangerous to this more chaotic branch of the Fae?
Or because we keep them in tens, do they somehow think the goats are sacred to us? Hi, Kitty.
Esme, it's a rare Esme sighting. Hello, sweetie.
Hi, Kitty.
Aw. I just assumed because this town is so economically dependent upon goats, this is a way of attacking the town.
Yeah,
But
it's not like going into people's houses and killing the people or their dogs or their cats, it's going after the goats. Why the
It's
goats?
also sending like ghost armies of dwarves and like doing weird stuff like that too.
Yeah, I mean, would Wiggs happen to know in her depth of elven knowledge I mean, is there a thing about goats? Do elves have a thing for goats?
Make a roll.
Oh, Jay McDevitt says, yep, that's me.
5.
Hi, Jess.
And Brad McDevitt.
5. What's up, Brad?
And Brad
Brad.
McDevitt,
Hi,
alpacas. He says alpacas rule, lobsters drool.
Yep. Strongly disagree. Alpacas suck. And
This isn't over, McDevitt. This is not over. Okay, we talking about this later on.
I met an alpaca in Bolivia when I was in high school. It was pretty chill.
Yeah.
Didn't get too close.
actually, I don't really know about alpacas, but I know llamas suck, so I just
Yeah.
assume alpacas do too.
I really hate geese.
These are
They're-
awesome.
They're so mean.
They're jerks. Yeah.
They can be surly.
They invade
Ugh.
golf courses and crap on people's shoes, and that's amazing.
Well, that's cool, obviously.
That's amazing.
Like I literally want to walk in a golf
Fat
course and
warriors.
crap on people's shoes. That sounds great.
That's legit.
You live those dreams.
All right, so Wiggs, you cannot think of any particular offense that goats might give unicorns or anybody else in the fake court. It's not like a thing.
Okay. Besides the usual head-butting and kicking. Okay.
It's just
I mean,
that's
you know,
what,
they're goats. They're,
that's
you know,
that's what they got here, right? Just all goats all the time.
a lot of goats. It's a big goat town, turned out.
If it was a lobster town, the unicorn would be killing all the lobsters.
I mean, is
Right,
that
but-
all we know, that they've been just goats have been attacked? or not?
There have been, you know, everybody had a crazy story. Apparently, a traveler got chewed up a couple of days ago. A random guy, and
Not speared, shoot up.
yeah,
Yeah.
just chewed on, like literally ripped apart by
Yeah.
wolves. They thought, and some other folks have gone missing. There are some missing people, which that could have been unicorn attacks as well, because you know who knows. But he wasn't hiding the goat bodies, so who knows why he would have hit a human body. So
And
Yeah, so what
anyway,
you-
Brendan, Brad says, "Bring it, lobster boy."
you do it, I'll give you such a pinch. Yeah, so the travelers are missing, people are gone. So certainly more has going on than just these goats getting killed. And yeah, a lot of people have crazy stories. The army of ghost dwarves marching through the forest, you know, scary sounds heard all night long, people in the wind and things. One guy got turned into a newt.
Do we see any discernible way to get into this mound?
You walk all the way around it, you do not see any discernible way to get into the mount.
Brank, do you smell
Wait.
anything in here?
Do I smell anything here?
You do not. You do not detect gold or anything near the mount.
Do I detect any construction, like trapdoors, secret?
Sure. You
Elevators.
walk all the way around it and kind of put hands on it, and you don't detect anything. It's just like a mound of dirt to you. It's not even
Yes.
like it from a distance. It looked kind of like you thought, oh, maybe it's a barrow, like a hollow hill.
Right.
But now that you put hands on it, it's definitely
It's
not a
solid
barrow.
dirt. Yeah,
Yeah, solid dirt.
it's going to be all magic.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you guys want to see if something happens at nightfall and or at midnight?
That's probably when it's going to happen.
You want to just back off and kind of hang out in the woods here, and
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Did
anyone go to the top?
Right, so
I'm sorry,
Just
Tim.
camp on top. Let's just camp on top.
I was like, yeah, did anyone go to the top of
you
it?
sit right on it. All right.
We haven't, no.
There's one tree up on the top that you can go up there, and it just it gives you a little bit of perspective. You can see the woods, you can
I'm
see
sorry,
the
there's a
river
tree
far off.
right on top of the mound?
Say again?
There's a tree right on top of the mound, you said?
Yeah, one single tree. Mhm.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, let's camp around that.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Master?
Are there any signs of other people camping here before?
No. There are
So it's probably a terrible idea.
is there anything strange about the tree? Any carvings on it or anything about
no. It's a little sparse.
If I
it looks
pull on
like
any branches, do they seem to be like levers for secret doors?
that?
you give the tree a real going over. Try all the branches and things and touch knots and things. You do not find any secret doors, any branch dependent secret doors or anything like that.
Should we sit on this tuffet and have our lunch?
Man, man, he made those sandwiches smelling good. Barbacoa del Res.
Could we go to town and see if we can get like some iron weapons and come back in time for twilight?
Oh,
You would not be able to go to town and come back in time for twilight.
Oh, okay.
You would be after all this, you would be back much later than that.
Oh, okay.
are the heads of my 2 axes and Ernie's axe, are those iron?
I would imagine that those are actually steel.
Steel? Okay.
So it's in the iron family. So
Biggs has got a bunch of iron spikes. We could make some murder bats.
there are iron spikes though.
So like I don't even like carrying these. I have them wrapped in silk and then canvas. So
Yeah, give them up.
All right.
We'll go saw off some like tree limbs and make some spike bats. How many spikes we got?
6.
No,
Yeah.
that's like one bat.
Yeah, but
One spike
and it would
bat.
take. I will say, but if you're trying to get it done before twilight, that's what I'm hearing. You could probably make like 2 good bats and have 2 spike bats ready to go. Then and they'll do a die 5 damage each
Excellent.
on regular targets. Who knows what it will do against iron things with an iron issue.
Right.
We could. No, I was gonna say we could test it, but that wouldn't be very nice.
Spike
Gold.
bats are always good to have.
Oh yeah. Oh goodness gracious.
I guess
All right.
I'll keep one and give the other one to Ernie.
All right. So where are y'all going to be come twilight?
Underneath the tree, right?
Yeah, just kicked up under the tree.
All right.
The high ground.
So sure enough, you guys are there. You guys hang out there until nighttime. And like it gets dark, and then all of a sudden, like you see like this mist appears around the entire outside of the mound. Okay, like this mist just pops up out of every place, and you can see in like on one side of the mound, you can see where like suddenly there's light that seems to be coming from within.
Ooh.
From an aperture that we could enter, or just like
yeah, portal.
Well,
opened up?
from your perspective there under the tree, you can't tell.
I
I'm
think we
pretty
should walk
sneaky.
into the mist.
Yeah.
let's send a thief to scout it out.
If Forrester wants to come with me, I know he's pretty sneaky too. We can maybe sneak down. Take a
Yeah.
look.
Okay, make a stealth check. Don't forget your armor check penalty, and
Oh.
make a stealth check. Don't forget your armor check penalty and a tall.
Good point. I'm actually, before I make my roll, I've got some pretty heavy armor on Anatol. I'll come with you if you'd like, but keep
All
in-
right. Yeah, I don't have a check penalty, so
Right.
I get a plus.
Dusted will still be a -2.
Sneak silent. I get a +4, so I get a 17.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So you start coming down the top, like coming across the top of the mountain, okay? And 17, like you're mad sneaky. You get up to like, so you're coming over the mountain. So yeah, sure enough, it looks like you get to like a point where there is a door beneath you. Okay, like you're coming across the top of it. You can see light coming out of there, and you can see that there are you can see the helmets of what appear to be 4 guards standing on like 2 on either side of whatever the source of this light is that is going on to the outside. So yeah, from where you are there, you can see there's 4 guards who are sort of standing there and keeping post. You can only see the tops of their heads though.
All right, I'll start very slowly, kind of like crab walking back up the mound.
All right, you are to crab walk back up that mound. Okay, yeah, you eventually, it takes you quite a while to get back like that, but eventually you get back to everybody else where they're waiting by the tree.
And I'll just kind of like 4. We talk to them.
I get nostalgic for the cave when Anatol invasion.
You can pull out your old speaking board and have them point at stuff.
Yeah, like
I mean,
Brank Iron Fist is looking for the go ahead to go and whack somebody. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that dwarf like anywhere. So
they could be terrible warriors, but at the same time, they also could maybe not be our foes.
I could go and try to speak with them and ask to parlay with their ruler, and you all be ready to back me up.
yeah, take the long way around and come up from the bottom, and then we'll come over the top. And if they give you any trouble, we'll gank them.
Yeah, give us the secret. What's the secret code word for gank 'em?
I will utter a war cry, and you'll know it when you hear it.
All right.
All right. I'll go back down the back way and walk around the mound, I guess. And
all right. So you're gonna go around the back part of the mound and then come around to the front with the rest of y'all. Where is everybody else doing?
We're gonna come over the top and keep watch, so that way, in case they attack her, we can attack from the high ground. Like,
Okay, but not close enough to where we got to make stealth checks. We'll be back a little ways.
Yeah, but we're still crawl down as close as we can get before we think.
All right, you're gonna actually crawl up there on your belly. So you're up.
Yeah, like
I'm an elf. Would you like some accompaniment?
yeah, sure.
I'll go with
helpful.
her, and that way, like, if we do have to gank them, I'll be ready with magic missile. But this might give you an extra in.
And just in case,
Gotcha.
I don't speak Elvish, so in case they don't speak Common, that would be useful too. So
Totally.
yeah, right.
Cool.
We can work together. Hey.
Okay. So yeah, sure enough. So you guys all kind of creep up there, so we're like stealth up around the top of the hill. Meanwhile, Tia, Martha, and Wiggs go down around the back and then walk around to the front of the mound. And yeah, you see them there. Yeah. So there's it's a 10-foot wide, 15-foot tall opening standing on the east side of the mound. Glowing silvery light pours from the entrance, produced by lines of burning brands hanging on the corridor walls beyond the doorway. This passageway is lined with worn, moss-covered stones, and sprays of wildflowers grow from the spaces between the rocks. On either side of the door stands a pair of armored figures. Their armor appears to be made from shaped wood, and each wears a helm fashioned from the skulls of large rams, horns curled about their helmet sides. Spears, prickled with thorns, are their weapons. And when they see you, they look over at you, Wiggs. They all kind of like, sort of like brace themselves in case you're there to fight. And the one calls out to you in Elvish, "Avant! Approach and be recognized if you serve the court."
I will approach. Hands up.
I'll imitate her.
All right. It says,
I kind of motion for you to stand a little bit behind me.
Okay.
Yeah.
yes. And who are you? The one guard says.
I am Wiggs of whatever town I come from.
You're I don't know, Silverwood.
There we go, Silverwood. I tell them a bit of my lineage. Yeah. And that we mean no harm, and we wish an audience with the court.
You're here
We were
to
in
see
the
the prince. Is the prince aware of this, or is this a surprise visit? And have you brought your servant here as tribute for him, or what?
We were in the neighborhood, and we thought we'd say hi.
I see. Well, I'm afraid.
We have some information for him.
Information, you say?
Yes.
And what would this information pertain to?
That is between he and I, and not for the likes of you. Nah, burn.
They all kind of like look at each other, and they're like, they all kind of look at each other and say, I think that if your business was enough wigs, that the prince would know on your arrival. I don't think you have business here with him, and I'm frankly that you're going to arrive here with this, he says, kind of nodding over at Tia Martha, shows incredibly poor taste. Have you brought a gift? At least a gift for His Majesty,
I have
Prince Ashheart?
Our business is of the greatest importance. I realize you're speaking to my companion and not myself, but I'm a cleric of Justicia, a powerful god, and I suggest to you that you listen to what my companion has to say, and I'm going to make a personality check.
Yeah, give me a shot. Give me a shot.
Here we go. Oh my god, it's a 9.
Can we do a combined personality check? It's a cheerleader effect, right?
My dice hate me.
I'll tell you what. I will give you as well a personality check. Roll me a d20 and give me that roll.
Okay.
And add your personality modifier for Wiggs the Elf.
15.
15?
Yeah.
All right. He says, wait here. And they send, one of them goes inside and is like gone for quite a while. The rest of y'all can barely hear them talking over there, but there clearly hasn't been any signs of violence yet. Maybe like 20 minutes later, up comes, sorry, we're skipping ahead a little bit here. Okay, so this fairy comes out. Okay, he comes back with the guard that went in to retrieve him. He's wearing deep blue robes, approaching black in color. He has a ruff of white fur decorating his collar, and his cuffs are of similar material. He bears a long staff resembling a broken tree bough in one hand, and a bored look on his face. He says, I am Gipthin. I am Prince Ashheart's herald. Anything that you would say onto His Royal Majesty, Prince Ashheart, you may say to me, and if I find it to be of import and worthiness, then I shall take you to see him directly.
Is he saying that in Elvish or in Common?
Absolutely, he's saying that in Elvish. And he is like, speak no Elfling, for I have pressing matters with him.
I'll interpret all of this for Tia Martha.
Okay. Well,
And this one, he says, he switches to English. You haven't even bothered to learn our language? Oh, heavenly dear Father.
oh, I'm just a beginner.
May the Queen
She doesn't
protect
speak
us all.
dialect.
I've just started.
Yeah.
So, tell us whatever news it is that you have, what message you have for
Well,
His
this is-
Majesty, the Prince.
Wiggs, who is one of the slayers of Gulfragor. Did I say it this time?
A Gulfrigator.
Gulfrigator. I was closer this time. Slayer of Gulfrigator among the rest of us. I among them, cleric of Justicia, and the sealer of the Cave of Secrets. We are great warriors, heroes of this realm, and we are here to greet the prince and to speak with him of matters of great import. And you said a herald? Is that like a secretary?
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
oh,
job.
he says, oh, brief mortal, know this, while I'm working for His Majesty, I'm immune to insult and to such petty concerns as the dignity is, for I have nothing to prove to one whose lifespan is less than many of my outfits. But he says, give me, okay, but here's the thing, Tia Martha, give me a luck check, D20, roll low under your luck. Has he heard of Gorflagrator and or the Cave of Secrets?
I rolled
Yeah, nah, he has not.
I told you my dice hate me today. That die is also retired. Let me find another d20. No, he has no
he
idea.
says, this, he's like, I do not know what. He kind of waves, sort of like referencing you, the night, this city, humanity. I don't know what all of this possibly is or possibly pertains to, but why don't you take a year, teach this one our language if it has the ability to learn it, and return with a gift and perhaps a song? Because really, honestly, and then he switches back to Elvish. You should absolutely know better. Wiggs, the elf of Silverwood.
I was raised by wolves in a barn.
Is it our fault he's not up on current events? I say to Wiggs.
He apparently hasn't heard about the Gorflagrator or any of that.
I
but
penny or something in the door to hold it open while he's.
there's no door. It's like an archway. It's just like where there's you can see right in it. There's no actual door there. There's just the archway leading inside with the strange silvery green light coming from within, and him there out in front of you. So unless you guys, he's gonna go back inside unless you guys have some kind of other
You want a gift for the right to visit this prince?
It seems the least one could do when visiting
Is it
the crown prince?
Are you running a scam? Is this for you or for the prince?
How dare you?
Just you. I don't know. Is this for you or for the prince or for your kingdom? What's your name again? What's your badge number?
Badge number. Yeah, he's starting to get a little hot under the rough there, which is a thing. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't think a secretary should be talking to me like this. At least I have a purpose in life.
Yeah, he is like getting on outrage, and he is like, such impertinence is exactly what I expect from the lesser races. This is a shame that you should you feel that you have the right to speak to me so boldly and with such disdain. I find you impertinent. Be gone from this place. Do not return. I shall see or live not to see sunrise.
How about this shield? I have a magic here. I pulled up this shield. I have this shield that I could offer to the prince. I could offer the shield to the prince.
Yeah, he kind of looks it over it and such. It is of some small value. He might be amused by it. All right, that's gonna be one more luck check to go on inside and he's really he just doesn't like humans. He's just mad about it. And
shield iron.
Do you like spiked bats?
Yeah, the shield is made of definitely something that is like elf unfriendly. Let's put it that way.
I'm an envoy of the goddess of justice. Are you planning to just diss her as well as all of humanity by not letting us visit your prince? Is that what he said?
She has no sway here, and I must tell you, I will give you a gift in return.
Oh,
are you listening to me, Tia Martha, cleric, Jessica? Oh no, this is a gift. My advice to you is to run far, and enjoy all of your brief existence, because the prince has been tasked with displaying the queen's wrath to end the city with the dumbest name of all of the human cities, and to all those who dwell there. So go forth. His beasts stalk the forest this very night, and perhaps they shall find your heart next.
Oh, you mean the
unicorn? My gift to you.
We already killed that. You mean the unicorn? We already killed that.
Yeah, look at each other. Man, roll initiative. They're fun. They're coming in hot.
Okay.
I got an 18. Oh.
Oh, I rolled a 7.
19 for Ernie.
Ernie on 19.
Ernie, what's your
I like
what's
these
your
elves to
agility?
attitude.
My what?
Agility?
15.
Okay, mine's 14, so I'll be going right after Ernie
Holy crap.
because I also rolled a 19.
Cool.
I guess I'm keeping the shield. I'll be taking it back. I mean,
He didn't handle it. He didn't take it away from you because he's not doing it. Yeah. Anatole, what'd you get? Are you muted?
You're muted.
You're still
I got a 22.
22.
Ooh.
they were ready. Our boys have our back, Wiggs.
Outstanding. Forrester.
Oh, I'm going right after Ernie. I've got a 19.
Oh, I got you. I'm sorry, I already got you. And Ernie, this. All right, Brank Iron Fist.
8.
8 for Brank.
What are they going at?
They're going on a rock and roll 18.
18. Is anybody right below them?
Wiggs, what'd you get?
12.
12 for Wiggs. So no one's within. It goes. 1 second. So it goes Brank on 8, Wiggs on 12, then them on 18, 19 Forrester, 19 Ernie, 22 Anatole.
Okay.
Did I miss anybody? Brank's on 8. Gotcha. No.
I go last.
For some elves.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So
I was so busy talking trash that I was unprepared to actually fight.
That was some really good trash talking, though.
It was.
Yeah, that was top notch.
solid.
Built up everyone's morale. You know,
It was my opinion of Wiggs has actually gone up by these people. By in comparison, I like him so much more. So much nicer than these jerks.
You're like, I like the weird blood sacrificey elves more than the haughty jerk elves.
Right? A lot more fun. She knows how to party.
I know, right? All right, so it is Anatole. It is your turn first.
All right, I'm gonna shoot not the secretary, but I'll shoot.
All right,
one
so
of the-
timeout. So you guys were back far enough where we didn't have to make stealth checks for you guys
Yeah.
actually creeping up on these guys. So I'm going to say that you can make a give me a luck check. Roll 20, roll under your luck, and if you make that, you can get close enough in one round and still get a shot off.
Surprisingly, I did not roll under my luck because of the points I spent. So
Gotcha. So you're going to have to actually make a full move action to get up close enough to take a actually hit one with an arrow.
okay.
All right. And that's going to be all you guys. Ernie, all y'all going to have to spend a round getting up into combat. So Anatole charges up, can fire next round. Ernie, you run up, you can attack next round. Forrester, same thing. You're running up, you can get in the next round. It is their turn. So here is what happens. So
And had they noticed the three of us who are running up, or are they kind of too focused on Wiggs and
they're
Tiamat?
too focused on Wiggs right now. Like no one's screaming or anything, right? So right now they're they have heightened senses, but for this round they are just focusing on Tiamartha and Wiggs. So here goes some things. So Wiggs, two of them charge up on Wiggs and are going to try to swing at them with their spears. So here comes attack at Wiggs. One gets a 9. Actually, they both get 9s. Two of them are going to go at Tiamartha. One is going to get an actual dirty 20. And the other one, you're not going to believe that's 2 dirty 20s in a row. That's crazy.
Who wants
Then
to move behind me?
They're still charging up. I mean, they're not, you're not standing in a straight line. Like,
Me shield.
and then the one with the staff, the envoy swings his staff and is going to miss with an 8. So you're going to take over 2 spears. All right, Tiamartha, you take 6 points of damage from 2 spears. And that is their whole round this round. So Wiggs, you can actually go this round. And what are you going to do?
Magic missile.
Okay, make your check. You throw a finger.
I lost the spell.
All right.
It's fine. I'll burn later.
Yeah, kind of day. Okay.
By a lot?
Yeah, I rolled a 3.
Gotcha. All right. So, yeah, sure enough, fight continues. All right. So, after Wiggs, Brank runs up this round and can attack next round. And Tia Martha, it is your turn. You have 2 of them, 3 of them actually right in front of you.
I'm gonna have to lay hands up on myself.
You got it. Make a check.
All right. Oh, geez. I failed and incurred disapproval. Yay.
Oof,
Oh,
All
man.
right, so that's
Okay.
3 to
rolling
4.
on that custom
So what did you get total
table.
on the die check? I
Rolled a
mean,
2 on the die, so I rolled 2d4. All right.
2d4, please.
Brendan, do you have the custom Justicia table?
Uh,
Okay, that's a 2 total. Just taking off my luck modifier.
I
Right?
do have it. Hold on a minute. The custom Justicia table.
Ooh. I have to get my.
I just don't know where it falls in here. Is that a G name? Justicia?
Jay, it's
Yeah.
Justice.
Just.
Oh, Justicia. Gotcha. All right, you got a 2?
Yeah.
All right. You have to swear to a comrade that in the event of that comrade's death, that you will lay her body to rest in her homeland.
Okay. Wiggs. I swear that if you die, I will lay your body to rest in your homeland of Silverwood.
Silverwood.
Thanks, Boo.
Okay, so it's the top of the order. So Anatol, you have crested the front of the hill and you can take a pot shot at one of these guys. However, they're all in melee.
All right. Did I see the one whale on Tia Martha?
2. Yeah.
All right, one of them's gonna get arrow.
All right.
You get your backstab.
Hopefully.
I don't know. You guys just try to charge up there. I'm gonna say at this point they're gonna at least hear something. So we didn't get into stealth checks or anything like that. So
All right, I got a 21 to hit.
21 to hit. That is gonna hit dude in the back of the head. Give me a shot.
That's 5 points of damage.
Dang, thanks. Hold on a minute. Okay. So yeah, you shoot one of them and like we are under assault, he yells out in Elvish. He's still up, but the fight continues. And it's Ernie. So you can charge down and jump on one of these guys.
Yeah. Who did you shoot? The one of the guards or
He shot one of the ones that's fighting Tia Martha.
Okay, I'm gonna charge with the spiked bat. I'm gonna try to stick it in the office assistant guy, and as the mighty deed, I'm gonna knock him down to the ground.
Okay, we're gonna knock him down to the ground.
Would you say
All
D5
right.
for the damage for the?
Yeah,
stick?
D5 for a club, spiky club.
Okay. All right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Nothing. I got 6 total. Not gonna waste any luck on that.
All right. That's gonna miss.
Yeah, 6 total. Not gonna hit nothing.
All right. Yeah, he's very shocked that you're there, but the fight continues. Forrester.
All right. So Forrester is rushing up, and I'm going Murder Hobbit on the executive assistant. 2 axes. Does a 15 hit?
Yes.
Tell him to get me a latte.
15. That's going to do 3 points of damage.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, you hit him, but he is still up. This fight has just gotten crazier. All right, so yeah, sure enough, it is going to be 34. All right, it is their turn. Okay, so now there's a whole bunch of guys that are out here. So this fight's going to spill out and get crazy. So the one is going to, well, first, Anatole did not actually run up there yet. So Ernie, Forrester, Tia Martha, Wiggs. So one guard is going at each of you. Here's an attack at Ernie. He is an 8 and 19. You're going to take 4 points of damage. One's going at Forrester. And 2. One's one at Wiggs. Wiggs is going to crit on Wiggs. So you're going to take 4 points of damage. And then he is going to roll his. Oof. Okay, you ready for a trip to Elfland, T. Martha? Because
Oh no.
I'm just playing.
Oh,
Maybe we'll see.
Expenses paid.
Yeah. Okay. So blow careens off skull, deafening foe for 1d6 days.
oh
Inflict
no.
plus 1d6 damage. So that is especially bad for spellcasters. I'm just gonna throw it out there. So you take an extra 6 points of damage and are deaf for 1 day. And then the chief of them is going to attack Tia Martha and is going to get a 3.
That misses. Yeah.
That was terrible. All right, so it is Wiggs. It is your turn.
All right. I want to regain magic missile, so I'll burn for it.
Okay, so it's going to cost you 1 point of spell burn to regain magic missile. Here is the thing: you are struck deafened and cannot hear yourself talk. So it is going to negatively impact your spell casting to the tune of -1 die. So roll a d16 to cast that spell and add your regular mods. Are you doing it?
16, sorry. Oh, there it is.
Okay. Are you before you roll? Are you going to do any? You're going to do 1 point of spell burn to get the spell back. Are you doing any additional spell burn?
Yeah. I'll do an extra 2
Okay.
points of spell burn.
So roll a d16, add your normal modifier, and an additional +2.
Uh, 17 is a 1d4 plus caster level.
Is next level up close and helpful?
So you would have to spend 2 points to get it to a 21, and that would be 1d4 plus 2 missiles. That would do a die 6 plus caster level each. That'd be pretty gross.
Want me to do it?
Yes, please.
We're doing it.
All right. So roll me a die 6, please, Miss Wiggs. Oh, sorry, die 4. Die 4 plus 2 first. See how many.
No, I'll take it. I'll take the die 6.
Die 4 plus 2.
5.
All right, you're going to get 5 missiles, and they are going to do 1d6 plus caster level each. So how are you going to divvy them up?
How many targets are there? 4, 5.
5.
Secretary.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of want to focus them just on the guards.
Okay, so there's you've got 5 missiles. There are 4 guards, one of whom is wounded. So how are you going to space it out?
Actually, never mind. I'll do 1 for each target just to make it easy.
Sure.
To everybody.
All right. So would you, go ahead and roll me that roll me a die 6 plus 2. Is that right? Die 6 plus 2? Yeah, die 6, no, plus 1. Die 6 plus 1 and roll me that 5 times. I mean, give me them separately though, so I have them like.
Crap, I lost track. Okay.
Start again. Start again. It's cool.
Let me just find the rest of my dice sixes. We'll make this easy. I let Dan borrow my lucky dice sixes to roll up characters. Well, no, they were the ones that Rick Hall, you know how he does the purple dice, Rick's Purple Rain. Anyway. One more. Okay. Dice 6 plus 1, so we have 6, 2, 2, 3. Oh wait, no, that's 4, and another 2.
Okay, so each of them get hit with a magic missile. They're all still up, but every one of them is wounded now. And it is time for Brank to do some Brank damage.
And Hugh's come to visit.
Oh,
Hello, hello, hello.
kitty.
All right, Brank Iron Fist, you are in this melee. There are 5 of them, 4 guards and 1 herald, or we're calling them the office assistant. What are you going to do?
I'm just gonna run down the hill and smack the nearest one in the noggin with the spike bat.
All right, I'm going to call him this guy. Do it up.
This guy is gonna catch it in the back of the head, hopefully. I got 20.
Yes, that will hit. Give me some
That
damage.
hits. I got a D5 worth of spike bat.
Plus your D die, plus your strength mod.
7.
Yeah. So you take one out. There's one, there's one in range. If you want to go for him with your shield bash, you can go for the guy next to him.
Cool. Yeah. What's that? Same thing or?
You roll a D14, but use the same D die. So whatever you got in the D die the first time, you keep that D die, use that for hitting damage for this, but you roll a D14 and your strength bonus. Don't forget.
So I got a 14, 15.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
What's the shield damage? D6?
Die,
D3?
it's gonna do a die 3
D3.
plus your D die plus your strength mod.
7.
Boom! He goes out too. So Brank comes charging down the hill, and just like 2 of them are reeling after getting hit with magic missiles, and before they can get their composure again, Brank just kaboosh, kaboosh, takes 2 of them out. Nice work, man.
Frank doesn't
Smart,
hate
man.
elves, but he doesn't feel bad about smashing them up either. When he gets a chance and he can legitimately do it.
Did it
make
sound
weird
kind of like a
noises. Being uncool.
screeching, kind of like
Not-
grating
He
sound?
knows. He doesn't not. Yeah, I'm not saying it right.
All right, T. Martha, it's your turn,
Sometimes.
my friend. What are you gonna do?
It depends on.
Well, I'm
Depends
pretty
on the
good at
soul
I'm
of
gonna
the
have to try
creature.
again. I don't know.
I will aid you
If I
in
got up on the wrong
deceiving.
side
I
of
don't
the
think
bed.
I'm
You would-
very good.
yeah.
Just as he's not.
You
he's
are
not hearing
totally
me today,
aiding
but I
in the
gotta try again.
deception,
Yeah,
and
I
so
gotta
go
try
ahead and roll
again.
it at advantage.
There, so
Okey
lay hands
dokey.
on
I don't know how to
myself.
turn that on, and I
Yeah.
really want to know how to turn it
So
on.
15.
I
am my own
when you go
alignment,
in roll
so
20, there's the little red die
heal
in the right
myself
hand
up.
corner of the
I'll just
chat.
carry on with that.
Yeah, I'll let you
Double-click
work
it,
that
tell
out,
it to
and
change
we're
it
gonna
to
keep going to the
advantage.
pile. It is time for Ernie to kill somebody. Ernie, there are
Go
3
on,
left. They're
roll
all wounded.
20.
One of them is the herald. 2 are guards.
Little
What are you gonna
red
do?
die.
I'm gonna
Chat.
go and focus
Let's
on the
go.
one that was pounding
Uh,
on
That seems like a lot of work. I'll just roll
um,
twice.
Wigs.
Yeah.
Well, I
Wait,
just
that's the
get
one
it
that-
on all the time,
Fully
and then
healed.
I take the first die roll.
These 2. There's 2 of. Well, yeah, this one. Gotcha.
Yeah, but then I know what I
And
Yeah,
failed
yeah, that
at.
one.
Oh,
And
jeez.
I'm gonna go ahead and take one of these iron spike bat.
Okay, well, I'm
And,
gonna roll an insight check.
Yeah, I'm just
so
gonna focus
we'll
on
see what
damage. I'm gonna try to
happens.
stick this thing in his
I'm
head.
gonna while she's
Oh.
looking at me, I'm gonna get Scrappy out and be like,
5.
I'm so happy you're here, Scrappy, and like just be super distracting.
This is better.
Oh, yeah.
14, 15,
Oh my
16.
goodness.
16. Yep, that's gonna hit.
5 points of
The
damage.
battle
Oh.
of the low roll.
Oh, he goes out.
Wow.
Goes out. Can I
this
bar? I'm gonna go
I
in.
didn't know.
Is
Like, she had a plus
T
1.
Martha's shield sitting around? I wanted to borrow that.
I can give
You
it
want
to
to
you.
run over? You can. Yeah, you can run over and grab that.
I'm just gonna reach over and grab it because they were pretty close together, right?
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
She's a
I
cop.
pick up
She's
shield. Now I
great.
got a shield.
Her
I need to
instinct's
buff our
amazing.
AC. This AC's a little weak.
I'm not the
I don't want to
lead.
cast
it's not it. It's Forrester. It's your turn,
but
cuz.
the souls of these people
All right.
might have needed a little
Are
help.
there two
getting to
targets
the
that are
other
near enough
side.
to one another that I can
It
do a
just
little
is a
murder
painful
hobbit axe
process.
cyclone?
Give me a luck check, and if you make it, yeah, you can get the Herald in the last card.
Well,
Yes.
if I'm being honest,
Yeah, absolutely.
they were assholes. So that
Okay, my highest roll.
that works.
Ooh, that's only an 11.
All right. Well,
Let's hope when
Is that
you
enough? That's
pass
not
over,
enough?
it'll be a much smoother,
No.
less grady
Do we think a
sound.
13 would be enough?
You think a 15 would do it?
probably not. I'm
Yeah,
kind of an asshole.
I'm gonna let it
And then
go.
she just shuffles back to her
Gotcha.
post.
All right, it is their turn. So the
And then
one is going to
goes back
rush
to her-
over
to
and
her
try to
post.
get Brank Iron Fist.
Yeah, she heads
Brank,
back to
here
her
comes a
post.
spear. Watcha! It's going to be a total of an 8. That is not going to do it. The last
And,
one
she
is
gets to the front of
actually
the porch
going
right
to
as
try
the
to
post,
run
right
and
as,
get help.
Newman and
So he's going to disappear or run inside. However, Tia Martha, Forrester, and Forrester can both get a free attack on him as he runs out of there.
When I do my free attack, am I rolling a d16 or a d20?
D6. You always use the same die that you use in your regular attacks. So, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it'd be the same. I guess it'd be a D16.
I mean, he only uses a D16 for two-fisted attacks, right?
Yeah, I'm trying
So
to
if it's-
remember the actual. I'll
But
tell
if
you
it's
what.
a free pot, it's just
Yeah, let's do it at a D20 for this shot. But I'll look it up during the week and I'll figure it out. I think it's the
pretty
same.
sure
Because you have a die penalty or a die plus to it.
I miss either way.
All right. So Tia Martha, you take a shot.
My turn. I will wait.
He is trying to run away. You get a free shot. You get your free shot on the Herald before he runs off.
All right. I will cut him down. Let's see. Oh, really? 14. Does that hit?
Yep. That's what you need.
That's pretty good. All right. 8 damage.
Damn. He should have stood his ground. He turns around to run and he completely jumps to try to dodge out of the way of Forrester getting a free shot on him. Runs right into your mace. Dang! You hit him in the brain and he falls over and is dead. So hey, we're actually at time here. So let's go ahead and I know, right? It just flew by. But hey, for everybody watching, thank you very much for tuning into this very special edition of Blades Against Bandwidth. And thank you to everybody for tuning in. We totally appreciate having everybody on here. Thank you, Wayne, for showing up and being our special guest for tonight. Big hand.
Thanks.
We appreciate you showing up. You're welcome anytime. We'll do again. And I guess if we're ready to thank you for all the kitties who made an appearance today. We're so grateful. And we'll pick up here in front of the mountain with a bunch of dead elves next time. Don't miss it. Thank you very much. Alex, take us out.